If they can just sneak another one here, it's going to put enormous pressure back onto the Bombers, who have failed in the last halves in several games this year. And some real eagerness there and spirit shown in the middle. And this bubbling over a little. Vandenberg. Brown's thrown
Free
out.
kick to Hawthorn.
Get the ball, Hawks,
Dixon.
and move it.
Now loose players. Reese just vacated the centre circle to half forward to Thompson. Couldn't mark. No free kick there. Bolton read it off hands very well. Kicks hurriedly though. Winderlick, he was taken on. Must get the free kick.
It was great play by Bolton to get back. Little support Fletcher.
Jason Winderlick. And some blood just on the bottom lip there as he copped it really hard from Chance Bateman. And he'll have to go off under the blood rule.
It is on everywhere in here, boys. Spot fires all over the place.
And there it is, Pachoni, and Vandenberg letting lefts and rights go to the
You
feet.
can't do that.
And here comes Welsh to remonstrate with Vandenberg.
This is the 1980s revisited.
Well, I tell you what, at least Hawthorn is showing a bit of spirit here. And Campbell Brown looks to be bloodied round the mouth as well. Dustin Fletcher getting involved. Barker stopped that pretty quickly. This is unbelievable. We haven't seen these sort of scenes for a long time in AFL football.
I'm not sure this is the Olympic spirit, but it's something out there.
Beaumont and Murphy all a little right cross there, was it?
Former teammates. I'm sure I saw Colin Robertson in there somewhere with Tim Watson, but I'm not sure.
Winderlick's all right. He's up and about. Now Beaumont there just letting one go, and Justin Murphy at top
Former
of
teammates as well.
Bit of jumper punching. Welsh going down. A bit of staging.
I reckon it was the Bateman hit on Winderlick that started all that, lads.
It was crude.
There's a bit off the ball here.
And Beaumont and Murphy still going at it in the centre of the ground.
Mick Rees.
Let's have a look at Richie Vandenberg. He's on the right of screen there. Bang! I don't know whether any of those connected. And Chance Bateman getting involved there too. Gee. We haven't seen that for a while, Steve.
No, we haven't.
Not sure the umpires know what to do.
And McPhee's bloody to the eye there.
McPhee's caught one. He'll have to go off into the blood rule.
He'll be about the fifth coming off with the blood rule. He's already got two come off. Winderlick limping to the boundary line now.
Yeah, play can't go on. Surely play can't go on under the blood rule if someone's coming from the ground, Andrew.
No.
That's their mission this afternoon. The Adelaide Crows, 3 wins and 7 losses, just as Carlton are. So this game has taken on huge significance in the context of 2 seasons. Adelaide bouncing back to form last week with a thumping 86-point win over Hawthorn at the MCG. They haven't written off playing finals football in 2004 at the moment. The Blues, well, they're all about getting back some pride and getting a win on the road, getting some confidence as a team. Good afternoon, welcome along to Amy Stadium in Adelaide. Jason Bennett alongside inaugural Adelaide captain Chris McDermott. Chris, as I mentioned, it's a big game for both these sides and for different reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Adelaide haven't won 2 games in a row for about 10 months, they're talking, so big game for them. They need to get some consistent winning form. Pretty good against Hawthorn last week, and for Carlton, well, they've got a rebound after last week, and they really need their stars to perform here at Amy Stadium today.
It's been an even season, hasn't it? Both these sides sitting there with 3 wins and 7 losses, yet they're only 2 games outside the top 8. And whilst that might be a little ambitious to be starting to think about whether they can still play finals football or not, it just does show that the season isn't a write-off for either of these sides.
As they say, mathematically still possible. Adelaide aren't talking finals, they're talking about winning games back-to-back, but their percentage is very good given their win-loss ratio. And today just puts them a little bit closer. They got West Coast and Subiaco next week. This is part of the reason, though. Mark Stevens back into the mix makes that forward line a lot more potent.
Wayne Carey with 24 goals from his 10 games this season. They start to get some of those big names back up forward. If they can get them settled, they will be a much better lineup in the run home this year. There's no doubt about that. Speaking of in-form, Mark Rasciuto flying. Andrew McLeod starting to show some ominous form.
Very good last week, McLeod. Couple of great goals. Mark Rasciuto, Brownlow medal form. Absolutely outstanding. His leadership growing week in, week out. The one I love is Tyson Stenglein. He's the hard, tough nut, getting a lot of ball from clearance situations at the moment.
One change for the Crows. Nathan Bassett out of the side. Nigel Smart in, and more than likely to get a big job.
Yeah, straight back onto Fafolo. You would think Nigel Smart spent the last half a dozen weeks for South Adelaide in the SANFL here. Been in very good form, certainly in the Crows' best 22 if they were dead set set serious, and he'll slot back in there nicely. That back six just starting to take shape quite nicely. Trent Henschel in some pretty good form as well.
Has been decimated by injury, the Adelaide defence. Again, they want to get that settled in the second half of the year. Massey, Shirley, Hudson and Burton on the bench. Their coach, Gary Ayres.
Hey Gary, 2 in a row would be nice.
Yeah, it would be, mate. Obviously, we've got to just back up what we did last week, and against a side that's coming off a pretty big loss. So the important thing is to take out on the ground the same sort of characteristics, if you like, on what we did last week.
You expect them to be intense early?
Absolutely, and their whole training regime has been based around a little bit different, with Craig Bradley coming in and taking training, but also too a lot of contested plays. So we're going to have to be at our best in that area as far as getting the ball not only back off the opposition, but doing something with it today.
Now, there was some doubt about Henschel and Stevens, so what can you tell us?
Yeah, no, they're both fine, so they pulled up well. We had a bit of a phone hook up this morning, so no, everything's fine with those two, mate, and they'll be there.
Good luck.
Thanks, Mark.
Their opponents this afternoon, Carlton, as I mentioned, sitting in 15th position. They've had a reasonably unsettled year. They've tried a lot of youngsters, and we've got another group coming through. Brendan Favola, Lance Whitnell, so important.
Very important today. I mean, we speak about Carlton's Kings. They have to play well if they're going to win this game of footy. Favola back to full forward, we hope. Lance Whitnell, they've got to kick 10, 12 goals between them if Carlton are a realistic chance to win today.
50 games to Morel. Cade Simpson in for his first game of the year. As we take a look through the midfield again, Camporelli, Stevenson, Scotland, the keys.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Big job for Camporelli and Stevens. Got to get plenty of footy. Stevens will get Stengline, you would think. Camporelli probably go head-to-head with Rashudo. Again, those two blokes with Whitnell and Favola, these two need 30 touches each.
Simon Wiggins should expect to get a negating job in the midfield. As we look down back, the Carlton defence has been under siege this year. They're ranked 16th in the competition. The likes of Brett Thornton and David Teague battling it out week after week.
Yeah, look, I love Teague. Think he's got great courage. It's not a bad looking back six. Got a big job today. Houlihan and Lappin need to give them some drive, but also need to be accountable for their direct opponents.
Take a look at the Carlton bench. Harford, Johnson, DeLuca and Corey McGrath are in for his first game for the Blues after 28 games with Essendon. Dennis Pagan, their coach, has tried something different again this week. This week it was former Carlton champion Craig Bradley addressing the players at training.
What did Craig Bradley offer during the week?
Yeah, it was terrific. He came in, gave a different angle on his approach. We just can't afford to have any negativity around the club, and it was just a different voice. And I just thought it was terrific. Our players would respect Craig. 375 games. You know, he's a quality person, a quality player, and it certainly didn't do any harm.
Any particular area of Adelaide's game you're concerned about?
Well, I watched them play last week. They're starting to get a few good players back into their game. You know, I think you don't have to talk too much about Rassudo and McLeod. Stengline's been very good in midfield. The midfield's strong. Got a good forward line. Wayne was in pretty good form last week. He's been in pretty good form for 4 or 5 weeks now. And I just think they're starting to grow again. And, you know, it's really going to be about our attack on the ball, our defensive work, and how our good players show the way. And at the end of the day, if we do well in those areas, we'll be a lot closer to victory than we will be to defeat.
Dennis, good luck.
Good on you, Mark. Thank you.
Dennis Pagan, upbeat as always. That man, Brendan Favola, well, you get the feeling he needs to fire this afternoon for the Blues to have a big chance. He's kicked 32 goals for the year, on track to mirror his excellent effort in 2003. Almost set to go here at Amy Stadium. The Adelaide Crows taking on Carlton. Don't go away. We'll have the opening bounce for you coming right up.
The Fox Footy Channel's Super Sunday commentary team travels to Subiaco Oval as the Dockers clash with the Demons.
On the run from 50, Gibson arrived.
Fox Footy Channel brings you every quarter commercial free. Plus, if you're a digital subscriber, go active with our comprehensive Fox Footy active coverage.
Sandilands hooks it high from 45. Hope you're enjoying it right around Australia here on Fox Footy.
Fremantle, Melbourne, today on Fox Footy Channel. The man with the Midas touch, the architect of a sporting dynasty.
But the Lions have gone back to back to back.
Live Monday, a coaching masterclass. Lee Matthews on the couch. Can he lead the Brisbane Lions to a 4th flag?
I'd like to win the Premiers every year we play.
Or will the contenders overrun the defenders?
They have a great ability to compete.
And just how long will Michael Voss remain the Lion King? The unmissable hour, a remarkable leader. Lethal Lee Matthews on the couch. Live and exclusive Monday.
Scott Camporelli wins the toss. The Blues will kick to the right of screen in the opening term. Sunny day in Adelaide, as you can see. Beautiful conditions for football as we welcome along our co-caller this afternoon, 403-game legend of the Richmond Football Club. Good afternoon and welcome to Kevin Bartlett.
Good afternoon, Jason.
As we take a look at the Carlton huddles. The Blues, as I mentioned, 3 wins and 7 losses. 15th position, but keen to get their season back on track this afternoon. A win on the road would do that for them. Haven't won on the road for almost 3 years. Let's head boundary side now. Here's the man, Mark Aston.
Hey JB, how you doing? Wonderful feeling down here, terrific conditions, huge crowd. It's a capacity crowd at Amy Stadium. 14 degrees at the moment. It's a little bit nippy. We're heading for an estimated maximum temperature of 17 degrees. The breeze coming from the north, heading to the south. Obviously, it's not worth too much. Just quickly on Nigel Smart, some critics suggested that way back in round 4 when he got dropped after that St Kilda game, he wouldn't play for Adelaide again. He's proved those critics wrong, and he gets his chance today to cement his place back into this side for the rest of 2004. We wish him well.
Thanks, Mark. Keep us up to date with everything that's happening down boundary side this afternoon. Well, the Blues haven't won on the road for almost 3 years. They've lost their last 12. Their last win was here, in fact, 2001 against Port Adelaide in round 12. Can they end that drought this afternoon? And as I mentioned, just get a bit of confidence and momentum back in their year. And a good start is going to be all important for the Blues on the road. There's Ricky Mott resurrecting his career at Carlton after a stint with Sydney and then Fremantle. And there's Brendan Favola. And as predicted, Nigel Smart's gone to him.
That's the ideal matchup for the Crows. Nigel Smart on Favola.
Brett Thornton with a job on Wayne Carey. And we are underway at Amy Stadium. Mott in the ruck against Clark. Clark with the opening hit out. The dangerous McLeod dragged down off it. But Adelaide still in possession momentarily. Cade Simpson, first possession in football in his 4th game. Only as far as John Cock, out wide to Doughty. Looks up to half forward. Stengline's push forward of the football and takes an uncontested mark 60 metres out. Wants to move it quickly, goes inboard. Mott's gone back inside 50 but couldn't get across to cut off the Tyson Edwards lead. And Adelaide will have the first shot for goal. Edwards from about 45 metres out.
Well, that was ominous, wasn't it? Adelaide using Tyson Edwards as the small forward over the last couple of weeks with some great success. He is very strong overhead for a little bloke. Can get off the ground, knows where the goals are. And the Crows with the first forward thrust. Carlton need to start this game well. If Adelaide get off to a fire, it is going to be very difficult for them to peg them back.
So Edwards has 8 goals, 9 for the season. And this for the ideal start for the home side. Good crowd in. Carlton, a very popular club in Adelaide. And that ball from Edwards has just drifted across the face and through for a minor score. So Thornton with a job on Wayne Carey. And at the other end, as we mentioned, Brendan Favola being picked up by Nigel Smart. Carl Norman playing forward again after 3 goals last week. He's got Ben Hart. That kick in from Stevens is a shocker. And Scott Welsh can go back and have another go for the Adelaide Crows.
Yeah, not the ideal start for Carlton. Scotty Welsh has had an indifferent season with injury and form. Gets a gift to start this game. Just a little bit too casual. And the Crows' defensive work from kickoffs has really improved over the last couple of weeks. Scotty Welsh with a chance to kick the Crows' first goal.
Simon Wiggins was the target, but just showed a little bit too much of the football to Scott Welsh. And Welsh makes him pay. Opening goal to Adelaide. So the Adelaide Crows with all the play in the opening 2 minutes of this game. The Blues with just 1 possession. It was that quick clearance out of the middle from Cade Simpson. And the Crows lead 1-1 to no score.
Oh, don't turnovers kill you. And that's the difference. We saw it last week with Hawthorn too. Just the inability to execute with their foot skills, and the Crows capitalised. Nick Stevens, one of the better kicks in the competition, just not taking enough care, misses the target, the Crows get the goal.
Great start by the Crows. We shouldn't be surprised. Adelaide is the best starting side in the AFL. They've won 8 of 10 first quarters this year. Carlton, equal worst in the competition, along with Collingwood and Hawthorn, have won only 2 of first quarters so far this season, as Mott gets his hands on the ball, taken away by Doughty. Back to McGregor. Crunched that time by Simpson. Young man just playing his first game for the season. Here's Risciuto. Game number 251, the Brownlow medalist. What a kick! Tyson Edwards. He took 12 marks last week. Here's a surprise pack, and only McGregor's taken more marks this year for the Crows. He is super quick, and he's got a great vertical leap.
Yeah, he certainly has. Too quick for Bowyer on that occasion. Beautiful service from Mark Risciuto. There's the difference between the two teams. Crows are early, very good with their foot skills. Mark Risciuto lace out to Tyson Edwards. Carlton with one kick turning it over. Edwards with a shot from a pretty well the same spot. Has he learnt, Jace?
He's kicked 8 goals for the season. Tyson Edwards from 45 metres out. No. Leans back, pushes it right. That's his second behind. A let off for the Blues. Coming to the game, you'd say it was a mismatch. Carlton losing twice this year by 105 points to Melbourne. Last week, 108 to St Kilda. Adelaide won by 86 points. That's a 194-point turnaround just on the score lines. Camporelli takes over the kicking out duties, looking for Morrell, couldn't take it. Lappin, very good last week, kicked 3 goals, hammers the ball with a big torpedo. Out was Favola, got a shove that time by Nigel Smart, taken away. Clever play by Tawney. Back in favour. He was out of favour there for most of the season, wasn't he, Chris?
Certainly was, and had a couple of injuries too, KB, but very good last week.
Favola has the ball taken away. McLeod, the champ. Couple of casual bounces now. Puts on the burners.
Oh, well done.
Runs the 50. Centering kick. Big pack of players. Shoeback was there. Welsh, quick snap. Touched on the line.
Blues under enormous pressure. Total disposal 16-3 in favour of the Adelaide Crows. Carlton just not able to get their hands on the football. And interestingly, when Matthew Lappin did at half-back, he went long, playing that Pagans Paddock style of football. But if the Crows are allowed to get uncontested possession across half-back, that will be a problem for the Blues.
Yeah, they mop up beautifully, the Crows across half-back. Far too much easy footy early in this game.
Camporelli long again from full-back, and it gets picked off. Stenglein. Adelaide with their tails up. They sense an early kill. Doughty to McLeod. He's got it inside 50.
Can happen early in games, though, can't it? And again, a lot of games this year we've seen teams come out of the blocks first 5 minutes, 10 minutes very strong, and then the game has a way of evening itself out. You've got to convert early minutes into goals. Important kick for Andrew McLeod. The Crows have got all the footy. It needs to result with goals on the scoreboard.
All it does is set Carlton on the back foot straight away. As we stand here and watch this game, 15 Carlton players inside defensive 50, really, for that foray forward for Adelaide. So the Blues just trying to stem the bleeding at this stage. Fortunately for them, the Crows not converting. Welsh has kicked 1, Edwards has missed 2, and now McLeod missed the lot.
I guess refer to the Hawthorn game last week. Hawthorn with like the first 7 inside 50s, couldn't convert on the scoreboard, left the door open. Adelaide stepped in. Is Carlton good enough to make the most of these early lapses from Adelaide?
Houlihan to Scotland. Around the wing, it's about confidence for the Blues. They've got to restore some lost confidence. Prendergast has it on centre wing. He'll go to centre half forward. Bowyer's drifting back with courage. Forced the contest. Favola at the back. Tawney pressured out of it. Simpson wrapped up by Edwards. And that was a more dangerous looking foray for the Blues. It's a beautiful kick coming in from Prendergast. Had great penetration.
Certainly did.
Whitnell in the ruck. Edwards third man up. Slapped it into wide open space. Lappin and Doughty go at it. 1-on-1. Lappin to ground. In over the top of it. Stenglein off the back of the pack. Now to Clark, back to Stenglein around the outer wing. Welsh, Houlihan's in front, juggles and takes it at half back. The Blues just need some time in possession. String together some meaningful chains and settle into the contest. Houlihan went looking for Whitnell at half forward. Wiggins crashed through, released the hands to Norman. High ball inside 50, Henschel in best position for Adelaide. He goes back and picks it off.
This kid is developing nicely. Reads the ball beautifully in the air, looks at home in the back half. Will develop into a forward, I think, as his career progresses, but showing some great form out of a back pocket so
He's a
far.
good size.
Great size, 6'4" KB, and marks the ball beautifully.
McGregor from half-back, hugs the boundary. There's John Cock. Talk about talent. Goes short, finds the King Carey. 4 goals last week, 3rd in the 3rd term, 3 in the 3rd term. He's in good touch. 6 goals against the Bombers. Heard Dennis Pagan talking before the game. Thinks Carey's in good touch.
Oh.
Here's Walker, thought he had it and lost it. Tried to find Camporelli, put him under a lot of pressure. He's pinged. He'll be unhappy. And Carey will take the free kick inside the centre square.
It'll be 50 for Camporelli.
Inside 50. Now the whistle has gone.
For mouthing off.
Now Clark took the mark, but the umpire was already running backwards. And this will bring Carey just to about 20 metres, 25 metres out from goal.
And again, KB, was the turnover from Walker running through the midfield. Kid's obviously got some real talent, just his decision-making in the early part of his career, choosing to handball rather than use his leg. The turnover results in a shot for goal for the Crows, and that's going to hurt Carlton today. If they can't get their skill level right, they will not be able to win this game of footy. Early turnovers, early shots at goal for the Crows.
Well, he's kicked 724 goals in his career. .24 for the season. And Wayne Carey from directly in front. Well, they've got the yips. The Crows have got the yips. It's about the worst kick I've ever seen from Wayne Carey. It nearly fell over when he kicked the ball. Fell backwards, look at that.
He's got the yips and Camporelli's got the yaps.
Stevens, they'll have another crack to kick the ball in. This time he finds Camporelli. Short to Thornton. Just trying to generate some of that run. Across that half-back line is Bowyer. Looks for Norman, big fist away. That was Henschel.
Oh.
Good strong play, pounced on by Stengline. Finds Doughty, goes short. Danger. McLeod. And Carey again's got it. Maybe too far out to score. Pumps the ball to the square. Now Crows plays down behind play. Is that Stevens?
Yep.
He's got the free kick.
Well, Dick Morrell just took his eyes off the footy and just went to Shepherd. Carlton had a 3-on-1. They were always going to win the ball. Just a bad decision.
It's confidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just took him out of the play.
I mean, 3 Carlton players were there. Should have swallowed it. Give the opportunity to Stevens. Surely, KB, he'd have to fall over to miss this.
Well, he kicked 4 goals last week in his first game back. He kicked 8 in the SANFL the week before and has snuck it through.
Mark Stevens, a very important player in the Crows forward lineup. Struggled with that knee injury for so long this year. At some stage, thought about giving the game away. Wayne Carey gets the ball in quickly. The decision-making of the 3 Carlton players. No voice, no direction. A goal of the Crows, and Mark Stevens, under an injury cloud this week with a groin strain, kicks the 2nd goal for Adelaide.
Well, the margin 16 points, 2-4 to no score. It really could have been 6 straight to no score. Adelaide have absolutely dominated the opening 11 minutes of this game. Can the Blues get something meaningful going? They crash in and force a secondary bounce in the middle of the ground.
32 touches to 14 says it all the ball with Adelaide at the moment. Carlton probably going with a slight advantage too. The win's probably worth a couple towards their end, but you need to get your hands on the footy first.
Clark muscles DeLuca out of the way. Stengline has possession in the middle of that scrum, but he's going nowhere. And the Blues, I think, in close will be looking to really lock down on their opponents and just stop Adelaide getting a run on. DeLuca and Clark both had the same intention. And as far as Carey, kick smothered, ricochets to McGregor, he's taken down. Now Clark through traffic, tiptoes through the tulips. Matthew Clark from 60 metres out goes to the goal square. It's a one-on-one contest. Morrell arrives in support. Bowyer there as well. Again, the Blues with numbers, but not the confidence to go down and pick the footy up. He just socked it for the line.
And again, 4-on-1 on that occasion. No talk from the Blues at all. Just and the Crows so dominant. No tackling either. Bad signs for Carlton if you're a Carlton supporter. No attack on the footy. No desperation. Really worrying signs early.
Beautiful palm down to Stengline into the path of Rashudo. Dowdy links up with Johncock. He steps inside his man, goes towards the 50, out on the lead. Schubach. He's 60 metres from goal. There's Teague with the job on Stevens. Stevens saying, get it in and get it in quick.
He's a big kick of the footy, Jace. I mean, the kid's got a good leg on him.
Decides to spot up a target. It was ambitious inside 50. It went through the contest. And in the end, it was DeLuca that tidied it up. Stevens to Camporelli. The Blues trying to get some run off half-back. Their two most important playmakers. Camporelli. The kick was to the advantage of Bowyer and Norman. Norman will get there first. Has to gather. Gets a kind bounce. Thinks about the link up with Bowyer. Will go himself. Spots a man 20 metres from goal. Great vision of Fisher. And Brad Fisher marks 10 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Good poise from Carl Norman.
Certainly was, and his opponent Benny Hart just peeled off from him, gave him an easy uncontested footy. We speak about Carlton, and Dennis Pagan spoke about it before the game, the need for their key players and good players to get involved in this game of footy. Nick Stevens, Scotty Camporelli hardly touched the footy at all. They were in that possession then, got the ball forward. Those two players need to influence this game more. No surprise to see them touch the ball, and Carlton with their first shot on goal.
Good hard running from Brad Fisher. Chance to convert. The Blues need a steady and he has flipped the woodwork. It's all about confidence for the Blues. They've got to get their machine up and going. And that won't help. Adelaide by 15 points. Just under 10 remaining in the opening term.
He's a good talent, Brad Fisher. That was a bad miss. He kicked 3 goals last week, took 10 marks. I saw him kick 3 goals against the Brisbane Lions also at the Gabba. He's about 6'3". He hopes to play key position as he gets a bit bigger. But wasted opportunity then. Doughty. Risciuto runs hard, the raging bull to McGregor. They look really sharp, the Crows, to the half-forward line. Looking for Burton, got an ugly bounce. Morrell goes to ground. Finally forced over for a boundary throw-in.
Brett Birkin back into the Crows side, started the game on the interchange bench, just changed over there for Nathan Bock. That makes the Crows forward line look extremely potent. Welsh, Carey, Stevens, Burton, Edwards. That is a star-studded forward lineup.
And Clark wins the tap. Pounced on by Edwards, goes short and looks for McLeod. They changed McLeod and Tyson Edwards now at full forward, and it's worked for him.
Certainly has, just given them some good variation up forward. McLeod out of the goal square on that occasion. Been under the pump from a few parts of the media over the last couple of weeks, maybe a little unfairly too, because he was in pretty reasonable form and getting better and better week in, week out to Andrew McLeod as Benny Hart comes from the ground. He is pure class, this bloke.
McLeod from directly in front will shoot from 35 metres. He's kicked 6 goals for the season, straight through the centre.
Well, too easy for Adelaide early. Some signs like last week. If you're a Carlton supporter, got blown away early, and you cannot afford to get blown away at AAMI Stadium because this team is almost unbeatable when they're out in front, especially here at home. Tyson Edwards having a major influence on this game. Adelaide thumping Carlton in the clearances up 5-1 at this stage. It is all the Crows. Carlton can't lay their hands on the ball. Where is their leadership?
Inside 50 is now 9-3. And Gary Ayres, you can understand his thinking. He's stacked his forward line full of stars. He's confident that his midfield is on top. And he can have the likes of Andrew McLeod now positioned inside 50 to really exploit the shaky Carlton defence. Players such as Digby, Morrell just do not look confident at all down around that defensive 50 at the moment.
No, and very interesting to see too on that bounce up there, both Camporelli and Stevens, the two kings for Carlton at the clearances, both outside the centre square. So Dennis Pagan trying a few tricks, not working at the moment.
Camporelli involved in that little skirmish.
Chris, I don't think you have to be too smart. Matthew Clark, not too many people will beat him by getting their hands on the ball first. So I reckon if you're a Carlton small player, a midfielder player, I'd be working on watching the handwork of Matthew Clark because he jumps over the top of everyone.
Matner couldn't quite get away from Wiggins. Umpire called play on, so they did. Towards half forward, T leads Stevens to the ball, but just cannot quite gather. Support arrives for Stevens. Risciuto put his body in. Pull the hand awkward, gives away a free kick. No one standing the mark. Scotland now has to. He's worried his man's going to take off. Ball goes inside 50. Houlihan extends and marks that defensive 50. So Houlihan a job on Scott Welsh. He's most dangerous really when he can free run off half back. Won't have that luxury this afternoon. Rashudo taken down. Scotland wrapped up as we head boundary side. Here's Mark Aston.
Yeah, it could be bad news for Ben Hart. When he came off, he looked pretty brave and he didn't look injured, but as soon as he got off, he clutched his right hamstring and went straight down the race. I'll keep you up to date.
Prendergast in the ruck for the Blues. Only as far as Matner. Looks to take a couple on. The confidence of the Crows is growing. Stenglein, Edwards and Rashudo involved. It now comes back to Edwards. Has some time to look up. Thump it inside 50. Big pack from behind. Spills to the front of the contest. Mark to McLeod. Well, Glenn Bowyer, he's not looking confident playing full back against Andrew McLeod at the moment.
No, and there's plenty of footy coming in that direction. Once again, the Crows so dominant in the midfield and around the stoppages. Mark Rashudo comes off, as we see happen week in, week out, about the 15-minute, 18-minute mark of the first quarter. But so much ball to the Crows midfield. Carlton cannot find a winner in the midfield, can't get their hands on the footy. It is all Adelaide. Just their inability to convert in front of goal is keeping Carlton in this contest at the moment, but that's pure maths at this stage.
Gary has mentioned the importance of contested possessions before the game. We're seeing why. As McLeod tries to bend it inside the left post, and again another missed opportunity for the Crows, who really could have made a huge impact on the scoreboard, but for poor kicking.
Midfield possessions 43-12 in the advantage of the Adelaide Footy Club. That is the story in itself.
Totally different to what Dennis Pagan told Mark Aston at the start of the game, that they wanted to be really competitive, hard at the ball, work hard in numbers. They're being killed in all aspects of the game at the moment, except the scoreboard. 3-5-23 to 1 behind. Just poor kicking has kept the Blues in this first quarter.
They haven't been able to string together a meaningful chain of possession, have they, Carlton? And that's where the confidence comes from.
Well, the one, Stevens to Camporelli, got him into the forward lines to Norman. Is there one passage of play for 18 minutes of footy?
There's the last 7 clearances to Adelaide. We try to read it from Matthew Clark. He's off at the moment. Hudson has come on. Also, Rashudo's been replaced by Shirley. Here's Burton, the dancing man. Inside 50. Stevens.
Pay the mark.
Such an important player, Stevens, isn't he? When he comes into the side, it means he can be the key. He's just hurt himself then falling, because Wayne Carey therefore doesn't have to be the key figure. You've got Welsh coming in, got those 3 big forwards. Throw in Edwards and McLeod to give you the pace out of the goal square. It's not a bad setup, Chris.
Look, at that passage of play said it all. I mean, for the game so far, as Mark Stevens takes the mark, what he doesn't do and hasn't done for his whole career is land properly. Now he's been to somebody who's tried to school him in how to land when he takes a mark, but it's obviously not working, because that was pretty ugly. But a good overhead mark. But again, the ball at ground level, won by the Crows, outnumbering Carlton at the fall of the ball, just destroying them, and the options up forward. Eventually, they're going to kick a goal, and they're going to destroy Carlton if this continues.
Well, it's a good kick.
Hit the post.
Hit the post in the end. Well, again, a let-off for the Blues. He's actually been to school to learn how to fall after he takes a mark, Chris.
Got a gymnast or a calisthenic teacher to try and teach him not to land on his knees. He's traditionally fallen very heavily on his knees. It's the problem he's had. But if that's any indication, KB, I reckon you want your money back.
Lands on his knees. Here's a chance for the Crows, 20. Relishing being back in the senior side. Here's Shirley from outside 50. It's set up. Look at this. Stevens. Well, the Blues are a rattle at the moment. They cannot win a ball, and they're very slack in defence. And the Crows are really hot.
Oh, but there's got to be some competition at ground level, doesn't there, KB, and some accountability, even if you just get one-on-one and at least try and get a neutral ball. At the moment, Carlton, no aggression, all the things Dennis Pagan said before the game. Nick Stevens comes from the ground, so he's obviously not happy.
Well, Stevens now kicks a goal. He's got 2. And coming from the ground was Nick Stevens and also Heath Scotland. So 2 of those midfield players not doing enough. I think Stenglein's been doing a pretty good job on Stevens. He's had it 7 times in the first quarter, and Stevens has had 1 touch.
1 touch to Stevens, 1 touch to Scotland. Camporelli only with 2. There's the answer. Tyson Edwards with 8, Dowdy and Stenglein both with 7, McLeod and Rashudo both with 6. Carlton need to find an answer in the midfield.
Well, if you've just joined us, Adelaide 4, 6:30, Carlton 1 behind, but make no mistake, this should be 10 goals to 1. Adelaide completely dominant. All the numbers heavily stacked in their favour at the moment. McGregor, Tawney spins through a tackle. Fisher takes him with the second one. McGrath gets his first kick for the Blues. Tumbles it inside 50. Favola hasn't seen any of the football, just has not been down there. And the ball dribbles out inside 50s, 14-4. And possessions, extraordinary, 65-24. That's 3 touches to 1 almost. And have a look at that, no surprise. Carlton haven't had that many between them. Throw in. Whitnell in the ruck. Johnson. He's one man who can win a ball in close for Carlton. Gets boot to ball. And Simpson. Cade Simpson playing his first game for the season. The 4th for his career. And the chance to kick his first score in league football after playing his first 3 games, Chris, last year. He spent 53 minutes out on the ground and didn't have 1 touch.
Well, got a chance to kick his first goal, as you said. I mean, that might be some sort of record.
This
I know
is
you're
his
the
first
stats
kick.
man.
This is his first kick.
But that's how
footy.
simple it is for Carlton, wasn't it? I mean, Johnson gets the contested footy, hits the hot spot, just regulation footy, and now they've got an opportunity to kick a goal. Carlton just got to find some blokes who actually want to get hold of the ball.
Second kick.
Second kick.
Yeah, that early one in the first couple of minutes. And he tumbles it through.
Well done.
Cade Simpson gets 1 on the board for the Blues.
Well, isn't that a good story? Because he did play those 3 games, but just came off the bench at odd times. It didn't look good on the stat sheet. 3 games, no possessions, but 2 possessions in this first quarter, plus a goal with his second kick. That'll lift that young man's confidence.
Brett Johnson in that passage.
Well, I think he is, and look, he's got to be part of Carlton's midfield. I mean, he just gets hold of the ball. I mean, they've only been inside 54 times. He goes into the midfield now. But it's only a 3-goal game, so there's still a chance. But they just got to get hold of it.
4-6-30, the Crows. They lead by 23 points. The Blues 1-1-7. Hudson in the ruck against DeLuca. Risciuto trying to barge his way through. Just over 3 minutes left in this first term. 65 to 26 disposals in favour of Adelaide and 14-4 inside 50. They have dominated this first term. Shirley beaten by Shoeback, his teammate. Didn't hit a target. Risciuto again. Peels for the free kick. Ball still inside 50.
If the Blues could pinch one here, they go down 3 goals behind at quarter time. Dennis Pagan comes out and says, well, we could not play worse, and we're still in the game. It's remarkable.
Haven't got that goal yet, have they, Jason?
I said if.
McGregor to Carey. Stevens is the target. Playing in front that time was T. Got a good fist to the ball. McGrath.
Oh, no, tall.
He run down. Great chase. Good tackle. Got the handball away. There is a small window of opportunity if you run down from behind, even with prior opportunity. John Cock, too much carry on the ball. Ugly bounce beat Smart. Risciuto. He's on his hands and knees. He doesn't go to calisthenics.
No, it's not for all, KB. It's only for the chosen few. But some better signs for Carlton. Favola lays the tackle. I mean, again, no talk there on that occasion. Not good enough.
But he got the handball
signs away. That they're just starting to work themselves at least into the contest.
McGregor versus Whitnell. Johnson applies the tackle on McGregor. Edge of the centre square.
And it comes from locking up around the stoppages, doesn't it? Don't let Adelaide get easy ball into open space.
And Johnson's led the way. He's been on for 5 minutes. He's laid a couple of tackles. He's forced a couple of neutral balls.
He's had a couple of good quarters this year too. Johnson, here's McLeod. He's pinched it. Goes wide. He's looking for Hudson. DeLuca goes to ground. Tied up in the tackle. And again a ball up. 45 metres out. You can see it squeezed up on the boundary line. There's Ben Hart.
That was the hamstring that's given him trouble this year so far. Saw him miss a few games earlier on. Looks like it's gone again.
Shoeback on his favourite left side. Burton, the Birdman's got it! Great grab. Test of strength with Digby Morrell. And Burton read it well.
Certainly did. And you wouldn't have thought he would have won a contest in strength against Digby Morrell, but just judged it beautifully, Brett Burton. Held his ground. Got a shot on goal. Can sometimes spray him. Not the most reliable kick for goal. Maybe a little bit better on the run. But when he's hot, he'd nail this.
Burton. Rams at home.
Well, we mentioned Dick Morrell a couple of times. He just does not look confident at all comfortable in that defensive 50. I'm sure he's just desperate for the runner to come out and tell him, get up the ground.
Yeah, no doubt at all. Just not suited to a defensive role. You know, I think once again, just too good from a restart, the Crows. I think won their 7th consecutive clearance. Adelaide Carlton not being able to take the ball away from a clearance so far this quarter. Too dominant at the stoppages, and well, Carlton need to find something. We've spoken about leadership. Dennis Pagan spoke about his good players pre-match having an influence. They're not doing it at the moment. It's all the Crows in this first quarter.
Brett Burton been running Digby Morrell around, but the problem the Blues have got, Adelaide have stacked their forward line with talent. Carlton just scratching around for matchups. Hudson in the ruck against DeLuca, straight into the face of Prosciutto. Smart came crashing through. Hudson wrapped up by Camporelli, secondary bounce. Mark Prosciutto, such a great recent record against the Blues. He's on his way again this afternoon with 6 touches. He's polled in 3 of the last 4 games against Carlton. Paul Brownlow votes, that is. He and Andrew McLeod have thoroughly enjoyed playing against Carlton in recent times. They've both had plenty of the football, and there's Prosciutto getting a good close-up look at the footy. No stat for that one. Quarter time at Amy Stadium. And really, that was one of the most one-sided quarters of football, particularly the first 25 minutes of it, that you could ever see. But having said that, the margin just 29 points at quarter time due to the inaccuracy of the Adelaide Crows. Mark Stevens has 2 goals, singles to Welsh, McLeod and Burton. Simpson the only goal for the Blues. Quarter time at Amy Stadium.
Winners. The ultimate wrap of the weekend is tonight, exclusive to Fox Footy Channel. The complete highlights from all 8 games.
Crawford is a genius.
The Winners brings you all the results, reports and injuries, plus comments from every coach.
We had them on the ropes.
The ultimate footy roundup. The Winners, 7:30 tonight on Fox Footy Channel.
Officeworks big tax time sale. Save $110 on this leather chair, now just $89. Save $150 on MYOB accounting plus, now just $445. Low prices, Officeworks, the works.
Antonio Banderas heads an all-star cast, whose names we can't reveal for security reasons.
None of our gadgets work.
Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams. Coming soon to Movie 1.
We've got a huge show for you this week because the AFL's #1 draft choice will be joining us.
Not your Big Footy, it's Adam Cooney from the Western Bulldogs.
But don't worry, Big Footy, Adam's going to tell you what it's like playing his first year of AFL footy.
So don't miss Oz Kicking Around this week, it's going to be an absolute cracker.
Time at Amy Stadium. The margin 29 points. The scoring shots more revealing. 11 shots to 2 is a better reflection of the dominance that Adelaide had in that opening term. Mark Stevens with 2 goals, the only multiple goal scorer. Brian Houlihan, the only Carlton player with more than 3 possessions in an extraordinary quarter of football. The Blues with just a total of 31 possessions between them, which basically equates to 1 possession per minute for the entire team for that quarter. Dennis Pagan with a lot of headaches. Brennan Favola, well, not getting any supply whatsoever inside 50. Gary Ayres, he'd be delighted with his team's performance in that opening term. The only thing he'd be pretty annoyed with is their kicking in front of goal. Well, there's one other game of round 11 action on this afternoon. It's at the MCG between traditional rivals Hawthorn and Essendon. Replay scheduled on various networks, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Well, aside from the kicking, the only other downside for the Adelaide Crows was an apparent injury to Ben Hart. He's come off midway through the term with what looks to be a serious, otherwise hamstring injury. Mark Hastings kept us up to date with all of that. Let's check in with Mark now and find out about the state of Ben Hart's hamstring.
Yeah, unfortunately, mate, it's the same one he did earlier in the year. I went over to him. It's probably not protocol, but he was lying on the ground. He had the right hamstring iced up. I said, is it the same one? He said, yeah. He looked at me and then looked away. He was obviously bitterly disappointed and obviously won't take any further part in the game.
Very dejected Ben Hart watching on. The Blues with a lot of work to do. We mentioned the numbers, Chris, just 31 possessions in a quarter of football. I certainly can't remember a club going through a quarter with just 31 touches.
Nah, frightening numbers, absolutely. 16 inside, 50s to 4. It was all the Crows, and they've got the breeze in the second quarter.
Dennis Pagan asking for a lift from his side. Rashudo will get it inside 50 first for the Crows. Good effort from Bowyer. He goes back. He's called to play on. It was touched off the boot. Bad luck for Glenn Bowyer. Got rid of it, though, and McGrath bended across his body towards Norman on the wing. Kept his feet while McGregor went to ground. Dowdy arrived in support. Did enough to hold it in and force a contest on centre wing.
Yep, all happening for the Crows too. They love to tackle when they're on song. Their tackling is good. They're hunting the ball well, winning all the ball at ground level. Carlton really need to start this second quarter. Get the first goal if they can.
Stevens, good vision to Johnson. Simpson now a chance to run onto it for the Blues. Tries to slip Tawney and does. Gives it to Camporelli. It's Pagan's paddock. No one inside 50 other than Favola. You can see him tracking back towards the goal square. So Camporelli goes for goal and puts it through. Good football from the Blues. Again, it came from getting first hands on the football at a stoppage and beating Adelaide at their own game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been crying for it, and finally they do it. And finally they get the ball in the hands of one of their key players, Scotty Camporelli, very quiet, along with the rest of his teammates in the first quarter. But that's what he does best, take, break, and he's such a beautiful user of the footy. They needed the first one, they got it. They need a little bit more. But a great start and great work from Scotty Camporelli.
5-6-36 plays 2-1-13. Camporelli has been a great player for Carlton. 200th game last week. Can he inspire the Blues here at Amy Stadium after a very poor first quarter? Prendergast, look away handball, taken by Rashudo. Just hammers the ball back, playing in front this time is Morrell. Marks in front of Burton. Goes wide, Thornton. Blues trying to maybe run the ball earlier in this second term. Camporelli, the playmaker, their general, goes wide, looking for McGrath on an ugly bounce. Chance now for Simpson. Those look pretty lively for the Blues, limited opportunities. Guess who? Rashudo. Some say having a better season than last year when he won the Brownlow medal. John Cock can take his time. Massey's just come onto the ground, playing against his old side. Back to Smart, who said he'd never play for the Crows again. Pumps the ball back to centre forward. It's a big pack of players. In front was Welsh. McGrath, beaten by his teammate and Stevens, rockets the ball wide for Vola, long way from the goal square. Good kick. Whitnell couldn't take it. Great defensive play by Rashudo, made it a contest, closed very quickly. Whitnell around the corner, looking for Fisher. Caught high that time. Should have been a free kick to Henschel. So the Blues have got it. Lappin too far out to score. Goes short. Very short.
You reckon? Or just got lucky. But again, the signs, you don't want to jump the gun, but they just look a little bit better for Carlton, don't they? And we spoke about the Crows with all their opportunities in front of goal, not putting them away, leaving the door open. Were Carlton good enough to get involved and get themselves back? Well, this bloke, he's got a chance to get him a little closer.
To put it in perspective, they've had 17 touches already in 3 minutes. They had just 31 for the whole first term.
Camporelli going for goal number 2. Kick. Right to the line. It's been marked by Whitnell. Play on. Play on. Now, Whitnell can't believe it. It was a big pack of players. And umpire Kieran Nichols is pretty decisive. is going to bounce. McGregor will be keen to push the ball through. Smart's got it, lost it.
Oh, no.
Straight over the line.
Yep.
By Rashudo. He had a brain explosion. Forgot about that rule.
Pressure's just turned a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Stevens.
Oh. And turned again.
Try to hook it, try to check side it, puts it out on the full.
Yeah, not a great result from Nick Stevens on that occasion. He's a better player than that, and they are kickable goals, and especially when you're struggling, you've just got to make something out of nothing. And just again, on that occasion, too casual.
Endeavour's much improved in Adelaide. Just gone off the boil a bit since probably about the 20-minute mark of the opening term. And Johncock has it. Defensive 40. Squares it up to Doughty. Dangerous kick again. Camporelli to make them pay. Across the body and misses. So now it's the Blues frittering away a couple of chances. When the pressure just telling.
You can't dominate a game all the time, can you, Chris? At some stage, the opposition's going to have a 20-minute window.
A moment.
Carlton need to make their window count. Johncock to Smart. Now Burton around the outer wing. This is a better build-up from the Crows. Stenglein can go inboard by hand. Finds Tawney. Tawney to centre-half forward. Welsh out on a good, strong lead. Good pressure, though, from McGrath. Forced a contest, got it to ground. And as we've seen so many times already this afternoon, the importance of just creating a contest and getting the ball to ground, Chris, can't be understated.
No doubt. They couldn't do it in the first quarter. So much better in the opening 6 minutes of the second.
They pile in again. That one's going nowhere. And the Blues have managed, again, probably from around about the 20-minute mark of the first quarter to just start turning the tide by locking it in close.
Brett Johnson came on the ground. One critical balls, might have only been one or two, but just flicked the switch. He was the key player in Carlton turning it around.
Johncock through some traffic. In the end, he was pressured in his kick. Bowyer arched the back, gritted the teeth and crashed through. Set Lappin a task. He's got a couple to beat. And Doughty in the box seat. Can use the line, went to ground. Umpire says free kick in the back. One of those awkward ones for the chasing player. When the player in front loses the feet, he's got nowhere to go. And Doughty has it, centre wing. Again, the run's just dried up for Adelaide. A little bit more static. Chips it inboard to Clark. Confidence just ebbed a little bit. Prepared to take their men on like they were in the first term when it was a one-way street. Thornton presented himself. Edwards forced the contest. Houlihan from defensive 50, high to the wing. Norman sets himself. Clark in over the top, couldn't quite bring it down. Lappin on top of the football. Umpire says ball it up.
Should have got a free kick then, Matty Lappin. The umpire, unfortunately, was just on the wrong side of the pack. There was a big pack of players in front. The Blues trail by 22 points. 5-6 plays 2-2. Whitnell tries to find Stevens. He's happy to just take the ball over the line.
Got away with it?
Yes, got away with it. Just the 4 possessions for Nick Stevens. Being picked up and mine it very, very closely. Clark gets his hands on the ball first. Doughty with some muscle, dragged to the ground by Lappin. Stenglein can't break the tackle. That's better by Carlton now. Starting to tackle with a bit more ferocity as we see Fisher leaves the field, and coming on is Scotland. So all of a sudden, maybe a bit of muscle. Whenever Dennis Pagan said at quarter time he should bottle it. Camporelli, hands and knees.
But I think he obviously senses it too, KB, by bringing Scotland onto the ground. Gives them a little bit more class.
Fascinating contrast in styles. That's the Carlton forward line. No player inside 50 at all. Adelaide have got 5 players inside their forward 50.
Lappin to Norman. Off balance, out of bounds on the full. McLeod wants to get it moving as fast as he can. Why not? He finds Bock, who's just come off the interchange bench. Back to McGregor. Inside 50. Here comes Carey. It was low down, but he's got it. He's been in good form ever since we saw the showdown between Port Adelaide, Chris. Before that game, most people thought he was gone. Came out, played a terrific game that night. 6 goals the following week against the Bombers. 4 again last week. He's turned it around.
Has had a great month, that's for sure.
Bounce off the ground.
Looked like a half volley. Claimed the catch. And the Crows just improved that part of their game this year. Their foot skills over the course of the year have just improved week in, week out.
Carey from 45 metres. Great kick.
And that one stings a bit after Carlton had a fair bit of play. Maybe that's the closing of the window. We spoke of Carlton having a moment, but it was interesting just when we looked at the setup. The ball was in dispute. It was a series of stoppages on the wing. Adelaide had 5 guys, one-on-one inside their forward 50. Carlton had none. It says a bit about the state of mind, doesn't it? The Crows backed themselves in to win it from the stoppage and go forward.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you with the class of their midfield, Rashudo McLeod in there, Matty Clark again, first look at the footy, and Wayne Carey up in the forward line doing his thing.
Carey's first goal, Adelaide 6th. They re-establish a 28-point break. 10 minutes gone, second term. Now the challenge thrown out for the Blues. Started this quarter well. Must maintain their endeavour. DeLuca in the ruck against Clark. It was a 0-0 draw. Bowyer in over the top of it. Secondary bounce.
What did you think with that mark? Chris, do you think he marked it or do you think it hit the ground? I thought the second time he may have grabbed it.
Yeah, I think you pay him, KB. I think you pay that one.
Prendergast, McGregor, Burton the third man up. Tap went nowhere. Again the Blues trying to crash through in the shape of Glenn Bowyer.
As you said, Jason, I think the next 5 minutes might decide this one. If Carlton can answer the Crows' goal, you know, they're in this contest. They just can't afford to let the Crows kick a couple back-to-back.
Whitnell being held by the jumper in the ruck contest. Scotland wants to slip away. Ball will come back to Big Lance. He sinks the slipper into it. Straight to his old teammate, Massey. Couldn't quite bring it down. Again, we see the ball at ground level. McLeod to tidy up. Carey got an awkward bounce. It comes back to Whitnell. What can he do this time? Off the instep. Sets young Simpson a task. The Blues with some numbers there for Vola as well. Ball finds the line 70 metres out from the Carlton goal.
Again, the differences in the two-team. Lance Whitnell, 2 opportunities to find a teammate and couldn't. Just can't hit their targets at the moment, Carlton. They need to be doing everything right. The game just not as it should be at this stage.
Ben Hart out of the game with a hamstring injury. It's been a chronic problem for him. Whitnell dispossessed. He gets it into the hands of a good user, Stevens. From 45, he shows why. That's the difference. The Blues need to take their chances when they present themselves, and they need to get the ball in the hands of their better users.
Yeah, you said it in the call. Good finisher, and he is a great finisher. Camporelli and Stevens both finishing well so far in this second quarter. They just can't get enough of the ball.
It's interesting that they have to use those two to do kick-ins so often, isn't it, Camporelli and Stevens? It means they can't be effective up the middle of the ground, but Dennis hasn't got a lot of options.
No, he certainly hasn't. Too few to do too much.
Second goal for the Blues from a stoppage this quarter.
It's a good sign.
They trail by 22 points after trailing by 29 points at quarter time. Bit more fight in the good old dark navy blue. Rashudo inside 50. Chance for Welsh. Good play by Thornton, good hands. Don't want to fumble in defence. With a chance for Lappin. Arguably been the Blues' best player this year, and that's a terrific kick. Finds Camporelli. The Blues are starting to run. Carl Norman goes wide. Bowyer's got it. Goes in quickly. That time was torn. He couldn't get there. Favola! Now he's a thumping kick. He'll kick it a good 55 metres. He fancies his chances. Unloads. Big kick. Right to the line. Getting back. The Birdman read it well. Burton. Kicked the goal just before quarter time, now strutting his stuff in defence. Finds Tawney. How come he hasn't been able to get a game, Chris?
He's had a little trouble with injury, interrupted pre-season, just had some good form in the local competition over the last couple of weeks. Been made to earn his stripes this year. He played every game last year, was a fantastic player. Surprised a few in Adelaide, but played very well in his return game last week.
He was very good. So it's a free kick. It's going to the Blues. Morrell. It's on centre wing. Whitnell.
I tell you what, though, they're having their moment. It's continuing. They've answered the Crows' early goal.
Another loose player, Simpson. Now, this young man kicked the goal for the Blues in the first quarter. Their only goal for the term. He's playing his 4th game. Young man from Emerald in Victoria. He was a late draft pick for the Blues.
His value, KB. They were surprised he got through that far. He's an All-Australian under-18, but got through to pick 45 in the draft.
He was late, and I know Shane O'Sullivan snapped him up from 48 metres. Simpson. Just a minor score.
Intensity lifted here at Amy Stadium. You can hear it in the crowd. Bit of urgency inspiring their team on. They realise the Crows...
Well, they know, don't they? I think the crowd have identified it.
Massey misses another target. Here's a chance for Stevens. We've mentioned his finishing skills. Just needs to get some space to work in. Goes by hand. Favola from the pocket. He goes for home. He likes it. The Blues are on the charge. Well, we read the signs. They were there from late in the first term. Carlton just getting a little bit more control of the game by at least breaking even in the stoppages, and the confidence, which was the key word in that first term.
Absolutely, and Dennis Pagan again, our good players need to influence this game. They didn't in the first quarter, they certainly are in the second. Camporelli now with 8 touches, Whitnell with a 6, Stevens with a 6. The good players are getting hold of the ball and they're finishing it off.
33 goals for this season to Brendan Favola. And the Blues have dragged it back to a 15-point ball game. 6-6-42, plays 4-3-27. Houlihan, 8 times. Camporelli's been terrific in this second term with 8 possessions. Risciuto with 12, best on the field. Here come the Blues. Ward. Camporelli needs a good bounce. Now Favola. Is this goal number 2? Bouncing right across the face. Through for a behind.
But some signs though, clean possession out of the midfield, a centre clearance straight into the forward line. Favola getting his hand on the ball now. Mark Stevens comes from the ground. So things just going a little bit awry for the Adelaide Footy Club. Gary Ayres now with the headache.
Must be a lot of Carlton supporters over here in Adelaide because it's a packed house and the noise around the ground is cheering on Matthew Clark, who is marked at half-back. Big crowd in at Amy Stadium. Both these sides have just won 3 games for the season. 13th playing 15th. Both sides still with a chance to make the 8. Today is the crunch game.
Gee, the flow stopped for Adelaide, hasn't it? In the first quarter they were running their midfield on top. Just running out of options at the moment.
Thought he might have gone in the back of Carey. Pumps the ball back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
It's amazing how it's a flow-on effect, isn't it? One element of the game starts to impact on the next and on the next, and eventually momentum swings completely.
Just starting to get their hands on the football, Carlton.
McGregor and Whitnell in the ruck.
It's all come from the stoppages, hasn't it? They got smashed 10-4 in the opening term. This quarter, Carlton 5, Adelaide 3. They've turned it around.
Shirley and Hudson just going for a bit trot. Gary Ayres looking to make a change. Risciuto overruns the ball, taken by Simpson. Young man doing well.
Take.
Camporelli with those sure hands. Run comes from Stevens to Camporelli. The 2 midfield guns, the Generals combined. What a kick! Favola. Now here's a big kick, Chris. He's kicking into a breeze. But if anyone can get the distance, this man can.
What you love about this kid too is that he can have a bad moment in a game of footy, be it a quarter, a half, but he puts it behind him and just focuses on the next contest, a sign of a real player in the making. So much to like about the way he goes about his game. Important finish for him. Carlton with momentum in the second quarter.
Well, here's a thumping kick. Brendan Favola. From outside 50, leans back, unloads. It's going, it's going, it's gone.
Well, they'll be starting to look up out of their beers at the Carlton Social Club, Chris.
Well, who would have thought 15 minutes ago that Carlton would be within 2 kicks, and again, they're good players getting their hands on the ball and hitting their targets. Camper, a beautiful lace out from Favola. That's how forwards like him, and it didn't look good off the boot. Curled its way back, a beautiful little in-swinger, and yep, game on.
It really does highlight that a forward really can only be as good as his midfield allows him to be. In that first quarter, Brendan Fafala starved of opportunities.
I think we've got to say that Stevens and Camporelli have been fantastic in this quarter for Carlton.
They've lifted a notch, and here he is again, Stevens, DeLuca. The Blues have got the C word, confidence. McGrath inside 50, only as far as Smart. What can Adelaide get going off half-back? It's John Cock. Wants to take Camporelli on, does so successfully. Pokes one to the wing. Clark his target. Strong fist from behind from DeLuca. Throw in.
As you've said with Carlton, it's just started from the basics too. Spoiling, they're making this into a contest, winning some ball at the stoppages. Just didn't look like a footy team in the first quarter, but Dennis Pagan fired some shots at quarter time, and they've answered.
I mentioned Adelaide's inaccuracy early, and it could be costly. At the moment, the Blues have been allowed to hang in the game through early misses from the Crows, and that builds belief. Another ball up. Because really, Crows could have been 10 goals to none.
Could have been game over, couldn't have by quarter time. Left the door ajar for Carlton. We asked, were they good enough to get themselves back in? And so far, they've been okay.
Crows second of the ball in this second term. Tawney spins out of a tackle. Gets it inside 50 for one of the few occasions. Morrell, his confidence lifting. Goes up, makes a spoil. Does his bit. Teagan over the top. Bop there as well. Free kick. Carlton.
Corey McGrath's been okay also for the Blues. First game for the club since coming across from the Bombers.
Johnson's had an influence. Received from Teague. Sweeping handball to Thornton. Suddenly it's the Blues running the lines. Norman has got Prendergast off his man. Goes in that direction. Kick was a bit wayward. McGregor stands tall. Gets crunched. Burton in over the top to lock it up. At the moment the Crows forced to be reactive.
And again, not pretty, the kick from Carlton, but they were able to lock it up. They couldn't do that in the first quarter. The Crows would have swept it away, just holding the ball in their forward line and giving themselves a chance.
Gregor and Whittle collided. Ball spilt. Dowdy now Rashudo. Straight up the middle of centre-half forward. Carey sets himself. The fist from behind from Norman. Then goes again at ground level. Shrugs under a tackle, gets a free kick.
Well, he was fantastic then, Carl Norman. He got across to help Thornton out and went the big punch and the big leap.
Dangerous kick. It was to a 1-on-2 and Tawney picked it off. He's called to play on. Would go to the wing. He's got a teammate, Edwards. Shrugged his man and got away. And Edwards will go inside 50. Welsh will set himself and mark 55 from home. Crows need a steadier. Stevens calls for it to the goal square. Welsh will oblige. He'll sit it up at the top of the square. Carey sets himself for a run at it. DeLuca stood tall. Morrell at ground level. Under pressure. Wrapped up over the top by Stevens. And a bounce 20 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Well, he's done well, DeLuca, on a couple of occasions now in that particular contest, and also with Matthew Clark, just getting a fist to the ball. Just trying to take away a bit of that marking strength of the Crows on the forward line. Hudson doing the ruck work. John Cock magnificently rode. Across the face, still a chance for the Crows. Bock with his body over the ball. Teague wants a free kick. He could get pinged. It's a ball up.
Oh, very lucky. We spoke about Carlton just getting hold of the ball in the midfield, and they're good players holding up. Camporelli and Stevens, 4 touches between them in the first quarter, 16 so far in the second.
There's Bock just hovering over the ball. Teague, I think that was a good decision by the umpire. Didn't drag the ball in. The ball's bounced back over the line. It was very close to the boundary line as it was.
It's an umpire's worst nightmare, isn't it?
He's going to rebound.
He'll do it again.
He's done it again too.
Kept it in play, Hudson. Stevens really lifted his ratings in this second term. Offhand from Doughty. Boundary throw in. Just under 3 minutes left in this second quarter. The Blues trail by 8 points. It was a 29-point deficit at quarter time. They had just 31 possessions for that first quarter in total. So just 1 possession per minute.
And the irony, KB, all the goals at what appeared to be the non-scoring end. I mean, the Crows in the second quarter kicking with what looks to be a slight breeze, but all the scoring at the other end of the ground.
4 goals to 1 in favour of the Blues in this second quarter. McGregor over the top. McGrath. Like McGrath, I think he's done well.
It's given him a bit around the packs, hasn't he?
Yes, and he's hard at the ball. There he is, number 20. Played 29 games with the Bombers, his first game today for the Blues. One of those 13 new players that came to the club. McGregor beat Whitnall. Camporelli take a bow. He's been terrific in this second term. Down to Vivola. He's kicked a couple of goals. Massey, he's got Lappin to beat. Goes to ground. Chance for the
big
Blues.
Footy, this one.
It's a play. It's a big play. Great play by Lappin. Vivola. Kerry is closed quickly. He's come all the way down from centre-half forward. Great play by the King. He's read it well. He's chased hard. And what looked to be a certain goal for the Blues has been foiled by that man on screen.
Who said the Kings run out of legs?
Vivola just needed clean hands. Had to be a one-grab player on that occasion. It wasn't so. Simpson, young man in a hurry. Burton tried to read it well. Bowyer's hard at the ball. Free kick to Carlton. In the back, Camporelli. Well, he has led from the front. 12 possessions now to Camporelli. Kicks long. Oh, Lappin!
Free kick to the Crows.
Under enormous pressure, Adelaide down back at the moment. Bock goes wide to Doughty. Now Matner under pressure. Johnson striving to get there. He slips away. Matner well played. Centre-half forward, Stevens and Welch. Teague in there as well. Did enough to force it to ground. Stevens, Simpson, DeLuca. Looks up, he's got a couple of players unmanned at half forward. Instead he went to the Whitnall contest. Carey at ground level, couldn't gather. It's there for Bowyer. Pokes it wide. It's still alive, it pitches on its end, but dribbles out. Matthew Lappin just indicating to get it to a more dangerous position. With 25 seconds remaining on the clock, the Blues have got a chance for one more. Need some clean hands from the stoppage. Houlihan, third man up, took it out of the ruck himself. Kick was smothered, he had the right idea. Shirley and Matner combine, and the Crows see off the danger. Rashudo, Harford and Hudson. Hudson at ground level did well for a big man. Harford went back, it was a good second effort. This game is alive and up for grabs now. Doughty, Rashudo, Houlihan. High ball inside 50, Blues need a mark. Won't get one. Siren for half-time. And what a contest has developed here in the second term at Amy Stadium. The Blues look down and out in the opening term. It's going to be a question of how much Adelaide. Another 100-point belting was certainly on the cards. Adelaide didn't take their chances. The Blues came out after quarter time with much improved endeavour. And at half-time, it's Adelaide by just 8 points.
Tonight, the St Kilda juggernaut leaves the shelter of Melbourne and heads to Sydney for a blockbuster. Sydney versus St Kilda tonight on Fox Footy Channel.
This will really get you jumping.
Awesome mark!
The Toyota Mark of the Year competition, brought to you by Fox Footy Channel.
High kick. Oh, Johnson! Mark Johnson takes one of the marks of the year so far.
It's your chance to win a V6 Camry Sportivo, complete with aero body kit, sports tune suspension and more.
That's as big as they come.
And here are this week's top 3 contenders.
Just in time.
Mark A.
Way to go. Chips it high. Notting!
Mark B.
White Brennan over the top. Good for the
Mark C.
One.
Here's the winning mark from round 9.
Look out.
Corey from the side. McCarthy over the top. And that was the great McCarthy.
To enter, just log on to foxfooty.tv to win autographed AFL team gear and a shot at a racy V6 Camry Sportivo.
Wakeland will fly. Darryl Wakeland.
Remember, it doesn't matter who takes it, just as long as you match it in the Toyota Mark of the Year competition.
I'm too old to play anymore. I've had my time and would live it again 1,000,000 times over if I could. But that doesn't mean I love the game any less now than I did then. It's just different. I still can't get enough of it, and I still talk about it in my sleep. But the thing is now, I can afford to laugh about it.
John Barnes, footy fan, part of the Fox Footy team.
Time at Amy Stadium, both sides back on the ground to resume hostilities in the third term. The Crows out early. They're almost in position. The Blues still in a huddle there. And Dennis Pagan kept them in at half-time, really revving up the troops. The pressure now, Kevin, you'd have to say on Adelaide, fairly and squarely.
Yes, fantastic second quarter. That little play on we had then, I reckon, told the story of Carlton in that second quarter when you saw Johnson and Camporelli pack tackle Stengline. And it was really crunching sort of stuff. We see Ben Hart standing there also on the boundary line. He's got a quick hamstring at the moment, but we'll go down. Mark Asen will be able to tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kevin. Speaking to the club doctor, he said possibly 2 weeks, maybe one, but they're hoping obviously for one or something like that. It is his right hamstring, as we said earlier. It's the same hamstring that he injured earlier in the year. Interesting too that Tyson Stengline, I noticed Bone was mentioning Tyson Stengline needed to do more. He's still on the boundary.
As we get ready to start the third term, there is a real buzz around Amy Stadium at the moment. Big crowd in. Carlton hugely popular in South Australia. They've had some great champions from here over the years, the likes of Kernahan, Bradley, Andrew McKay. As we start the third term, this game up for grabs. Adelaide by 8 points. Clark, beautiful tap down to McLeod through the hands of Burton. Johnson in there to have an influence again, wraps it up.
Dennis Pagan pushing Matty Lappin forward as well, so just giving him another option up forward for Carlton. Tyson Stengline on the bench, an interesting move by Gary Ayres. You would have thought he's the prime stopper, so giving the Carlton midfield still some freedom.
Again, Clark hands on the ball, but it's Bow this time. Stevens and Johnson again. Tumbles it inside 50. There is Matthew Lappin, a couple to beat on that occasion. Smart charged out, gave it to Henschel. Henschel goes to Rashudo and finds him at defensive 50. Now to Clark on centre wing. Crucial time in this contest, the next 10 minutes. Adelaide have had a chance to regroup at half-time.
Courage.
Wiggins stood tall at the front of the oncoming pack. Took the relieving mark. He can square it up. McGrath under a bit of pressure, but had some time to get it back to Wiggins. And now DeLuca. Wants to switch play to the outer side. High ball. He's kicked to a 2-on-1. It's an ordinary option. Umpire calls play on. Smart run over the top of it. Henschel wrapped up by Camporelli. Just managed to get the second hand free and deliver it to Matner. Crows could be away if it sits. DeLuca stood in the way. Welsh came in to put some body pressure on and win it for his side. Did well to Shirley. Now to Doughty. Doughty links up with McLeod. McLeod a high ball inside 50. Stevens going back with the flight. Houlihan arriving in time. Johncock taken down by Wiggins. Edwards standing start from the boundary line. Burton calls for it in the square. Out of bounds on the full.
Terrific effort by Houlihan. Really got across, made it a contest. You've got to be able to leave your man, don't you, Chris, and sum up the situation.
Read it beautifully, KB.
Take the bit right in the mouth and do something, and he was terrific then, Houlihan. Norman pumps the ball back for the Blues. It's on centre wing. Camporelli, it's been a star for the Blues today. Taken away by Henschel, trying to build it up, finds Doughty. He's won a lot of the ball. Doughty, caught in two minds. Makes a good decision, finds Rashudo. He'll be on track for the Brownlow votes today. Goes short and finds McGregor, unattended. Has spent some time on the bench.
Mark Rashudo certainly has, and if you're talking about Brownlow medal form, from what I've seen of him this year, KB, I think he's having a definitely better season than last year, especially the first half. His second half of the year last year, very good. But his first half this year has been frightening, getting plenty of the footy and standing tall in some tough times for the Adelaide Footy Club.
This man's just taken 2 marks. Last week he took 11. Taking the most marks for the Crows this year.
It was a good kick for goal too, KB.
45 metres out.
That was out for the kiss of death.
Great work on the mark, Chris.
Misses to the left. .43 plays 34. Crows by 9 points. They led by 29 points at quarter time, just 8 points at half time. Camporelli to bring it into play. McGrath wants it at centre half back. He goes wide. He's looking for Morrell. Got the kind bounce he wanted. Now he'll get support. I thought he should have handballed it across. Was that Fisher who was running hard?
Got away too, KB.
Now the Blues could be under pressure. John Cock. Carlton players pushing back. Trying to make it man on man. Bock. Prendergast did well, just floated across in front. Always looks like he's got a ton of talent, Prendergast. Athletic. Favola. Fist away that time. It was good play by Smart to Risciuto. Those clean ends to John Cock. Sets it up. Finds Matner. Just outside of 50 to the Birdman. Now, Chris, you told us before he can spray him.
He can spray him, but normally when he's confident, his kicking's on, he'll keep nailing them one after the other. Kicked a beautiful shot for goal from his, kicked a nice goal with his only shot at goal. But you're right, KB, he can be a little indifferent.
5 goals for the season, kicked a goal in the first quarter. Playing game number 94 for the Birdman from right on 50. Got to bring it back right to left, can't do so. Through from behind.
Danger time for the Blues, though, you sense. They had all the momentum in the second term. They probably didn't want half-time to come. The Adelaide Crows had the chance to regroup, and they've started a little bit stronger in this third term. Carlton need to make sure they hang in the contest. Houlihan. Long from the kick in to Luca, the target. One hand to it, but never a chance to mark. Johnson found it at ground level. Camporelli and Stevens link up once again. Beautiful kick, but a great defensive spoil from Massey. It was almost on the chest of Matthew Lappin then. It was a great kick and an equally good spoil from Massey, but forced a throw in.
Also, Lance Whitnell was very good. You know, coaches like Dennis Pagan talk about what happens off the ball. He really blocked then really well to enable Camporelli to win that ball.
Off the shin of Prendergast, Stevens got the hands free. Great handball picked off by Shirley. Risciuto releases McLeod. That spells danger. McLeod goes inside 50. Edwards will arrive late, but standing tall John Cock couldn't bring it in. Wiggins at ground level. Good tackle from Edwards. Ball up 40 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Chris, it appears to me that the Blues somehow have got to shut down Risciuto. If they can stop Risciuto, I reckon they've got a chance of winning this game.
Well, Bowyer's gone on to him, but just can't deny him the footy.
Clark, uncontested. Thornton stripped of it by Carey. Teague to Johnson. The Blues slip away through Camporelli. Whitnell got a metre on McGregor. McGregor timed the punch beautifully. Got it to the line, throw in. Risciuto up to 19 possessions, and importantly, 6 of those going inside 50, so he is getting it where it hurts.
It certainly is, and all Adelaide, the last 5 inside 50s. Carlton just can't get the ball forward of their centre line at the moment.
Momentum in this game shifted again. The half-time break, the best thing that could have happened for Adelaide. They've come out with some renewed vigour and endeavour. Doughty gave it to Tawney. Just pokes it forward. He's got a couple of men in space. One of them is Stenglein. Goes for a run. 55 out. Penetrating kick. Morrell back. It's been low on confidence, Digby Morrell. Down back this afternoon. Fisted it through for a rush behind.
And all the ball that the Crows have had, the amount of shots on goal they've had, it's the first shot they've had as in the set shot at goal.
Well, the danger signs are certainly there for the Blues at the moment. Adelaide just not quite able to string it together. But they certainly are controlling play in the opening 7.5 minutes of the third term. Houlihan to Teague. Teague goes long towards Prendergast. Again, it's a 2-on-1. Henschel can just fly over the top. Goes down the line to Shirley. Goes high towards Carey. Teague will come across. Fist it to the line. So the Blues hanging on. Adelaide controlling play in the third term. But again, not able to slam it on the scoreboard yet. The margin, 11 points. Just over 13 minutes remaining until three-quarter time.
Clark. Great pick up by Edwards. Great goal. That's as good as it gets. If you want to talk about someone roving the pack, pouncing on the ball, being a one-grab player without fumbling and then finishing off, put that on tape.
Still surprises me that opposition teams haven't woken up to how good the Crows are in this position. Inside 50 from a restart, they're as good as there is in the competition at getting goals. Clark, the important player. Edwards at ground level, such clean skills below his knees. Yeah, bit of class there.
Team lifting stuff by that man on screen, Tyson Edwards. Just a one-grab player. Don't worry about paddling the ball along, trying to tickle it. Just put your hands on it, pick it up and kick a goal. Prendergast. Now the Blues. The challenge is there. Taken away by Matner. Streaming out of the centre square. The danger man Edwards sets it up to Bock. Back to Matner. Tried to take him on, lost control. Carey thought he had it and lost it. The Birdman somehow flicked it out, shoveled it out, taken by Prendergast. Ugly bounce that time for Whitnell. Pounced on. Chance for the Blues. Fisher's just come onto the field, replacing Harford to the half-forward line. Lappin. Great grab from inside 50. Camporelli running with the flight. Too much carry on the ball. Plenty of time to get it. Should kick a goal. Camporelli.
Oh, no.
Wanders in. And for some reason, couldn't get the ball up off the ground. He's kicked it about 3 feet off the ground from 30 metres out. Wasted opportunity for the Blues. And there's another one. Put over the line by Nigel Smart. Camporelli take two. Bavola didn't hit a target. The Blues wasting some opportunities. Cade Simpson got a shocking bounce. Picked up by Rashudo, the man of the moment to Tawney. Now on the rebound. This can hurt the Blues. Burton in front, Henschel. Big and strong, clean hands. Make that block. Same qualities inside 50. DeLuca stood his ground. Pinched by Welsh, caught high. Should have taken the free kick and kicks a goal. Well, the Blues had their chances, Chris.
The pivotal moment in the game, you would think Scotty Camporelli. You talk about brain explosions, KB. What was he thinking? Thought Paul Callery was on the goal line.
He mustn't have, for some reason, he mustn't have seen Nigel Smart. I can't understand it. It was like he was just trying to, kick it a low pass through the goals.
I mean, the 2-goal turnaround, the pivotal moment in this match. Carlton with their chance. They haven't taken the most of them, and that one really hurts.
Huge moment in this game. Scott Camporelli, a gut-busting run. He ran 100 metres sprinting, and I think by the time he got the footy, he was actually exhausted. Just didn't have enough left in the tank to kick through the footy, and in fact, he's coming to the bench right now. But they make them pay. Scott Welsh at the other end, McGrath under pressure. Suddenly the Crows have got their tails up. Could this be the moment? McLeod tumbles it inside 50 to Johncock. Well, the Blues might have the door firmly slammed shut in their face. Camporelli could have made it 10 points. Suddenly, if Johncock goes back and kicks this, it's 28 points in the space of a minute and a half.
And tackling Tyson Edwards, fantastic. I think it was Edwards in the tackle, turning the ball over. Johncock with the responsibility.
Graham Johncock from outside 50. Sprays it badly.
We've seen a lot of goals missed, haven't we, from right on 50 from exactly that spot. There's a bit of breeze, of course, going down the ground left to right, so obviously they're kicking into it a bit, Chris, and therefore it's very difficult for the kicker.
Morrell has been shaky down back for much of the afternoon. Blues have made a ruck change. Mott on for DeLuca. Oh, Burton! Oh, Brett Burton, a beauty! Rashuto. Crows flying high in the third term, inside 50. Welsh! Exciting 30 seconds of play from the Adelaide Crows.
That was a good grab by Burton, wasn't it?
It was launched off the back of the pack and he went up and up and up. Have a look at this one.
That is a terrific moment. They've just seen on the big screen here at Amy Stadium, and the crowd has stood and cheered.
He's changed direction in mid-air, Brett Burton. And had the poise to bring it down.
Just when you thought Sampy had it wrapped up.
Welsh stabs at it, doesn't like it, misses. Well, the Blues need a goal desperately. They need to get some confidence back, as at the moment Adelaide's confidence meter is flying as high as Brett Burton.
But they're keeping them in it, aren't they? I mean, Adelaide, as we said in the first quarter, very similar in the third. They are not putting Carlton away. Where is the leadership group? Again, they are questioned for Carlton.
Stevens with the kick in. Goes to Teague and finds him. Heath Scotland back onto the ground for the Blues. Teague pokes it towards Johnson. It's out on the full. Carlton looking very shaky in the third term, but Adelaide cannot land the killer punch. Burton inside 50. Does him a favour and gives it straight back to Teague.
Well, Chris said that sometimes his kicking can be a bit shaky. Here's McGrath trying to make amends. Being caught before a few moments ago. Camporelli. This time finds Scotland. Runs through the centre square. Just wobbles the ball off the boot. Tyson Edwards is pulled off the contest. Takes the free kick.
It's amazing with a change in confidence and momentum. Carlton's skills fall away as well. It's just reinforcing itself.
And a little bit slow to pick up. Toyney is having a good game. Tries to drill it. McGrath got a fist of the ball against Welsh. Here's the danger man, McLeod, with those great hands, silky skills. Somehow hits Welsh, pops it up to Doughty. He's had a lot of the ball. This is possession number 16. He's taken 5 marks. And he's not one of their big name players.
No, certainly not, but can get hold of the ball, that's for sure, and uses it pretty well. And it's dried up for Carlton. We speak about their key players having involvement in this game of footy. Lance Whitnell, a good player in the second quarter, and Favola only touched the ball once between them in this third.
Well, the roar from behind the goals will tell the story.
Or the groan.
And they're groaning behind the goals. And again, from that right-hand pocket, left of screen, it is very difficult to kick goals from today.
Inside 50s in the third term, 14-2 in favour of Adelaide. It's back to first quarter proportions, and that's why Favola and Whitnell struggling to get involved.
Still, it's just 24 points. Prendergast couldn't take it on the stretch. Hudson at ground level, tried to shovel it out, pinched by Teague. Comes away for the Blues to the half-forward line. Lappin caught in a wrestling duel with Massey. The umpire blew the whistle. He said, play on. Tawney, good hands, finds McGregor, goes wide. This is where they love to set it up. And Doughty again on the stretch. Nigel Smart has run hard. He's got his partner in crime in Henschel. He'll try and draw an opponent. Now backs himself in. Charges to the half-forward line. John Cock.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It was a good kick.
There's some class about Trent Henschel. Don't worry about that.
He can really play. Looking for Welsh. It was a poor kick. Houlihan just belts the ball back. Chance for Favola. Gives it to the run of Walker. Lappin.
No one inside
well. There's no one. He's got to go all the way by himself, Lappin. He's got to wait. He's got to bide his time. Takes him on. Lappin trying to make something out of nothing. And again, there is not a Carlton player who could help out. Lappin had to do it all by himself. Tyson Edwards got it across half back. Now it opens up. That's great vision. Finds Matner and Massey runs hard. A casual bounce. Some time for think music to the centre half forward post. Coming out is McGrath. Good hands. Finds Bowyer. Some rebound football now from the Blues. Camporelli continues to win the ball. Runs hard and finds Lappin. Favola's going to be the target. He's kicked a couple of goals. Here he comes. He's got it.
Just needed a bit of composure, didn't it, KB? The options are going to open up for Carlton in the forward lines. Matty Lappin with the footy. Foot skills holding up. Favola on the burst. A little too quick for Nigel Smart. Sometimes it's just that simple. A little bit of patience.
Well, they trailed by 24 points. This to get it back to 18. And for Carlton, the ball couldn't be in better hands. He's kicked 2 goals today. Both goals coming in the second quarter. He's kicked 34 for the season. And he's a beautiful kick. got to bring it in a little bit right to left. A big kick for the Blues. Just over 6 minutes left in this third term. Favola. Can he lift the spirits? He'll kick from right on 50. The distance is there, right to the line. He's a great kick. Great play by Favola. The pressure was on Chris, and he came through.
Certainly did. A touch of class, no doubt about it. This kid's got it. The turnover came across half-back, and there's the players. Pagan, we speak about it time and time today. Dennis Pagan mentioned before the game. Camporelli, Stevens, Favola and Whitnell. The importance of those 4 players in the result of this game. And when they can touch the ball, Carlton look a different side.
And throw Matthew Lappin into that equation as well. He's a very good user of the football. So 3 goals to Brendan Favola and the Blues. Get a little bit of all-important confidence back. 18 points the margin.
The runner straight out to pat him on the back from Dennis Pagan.
Mott's in the ruck now for Carlton. Got the tap. Walker flashed across his screen. Stenglein stood tall. Couldn't get boot to ball though. Tawney gang tackled. And now Carlton the last couple of minutes just starting to get that endeavour and vigour back in the game.
About the same time it happened in the first quarter too. We said the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, momentum swung, the 20-minute mark of this quarter. All of a sudden it's just changing. Rasciudo still with the numbers, Camporelli and Stevens for Carlton, the 2 shining lights on ball.
Stevens third man up, got it going forward for the Blues. Doughty tracks it back, Wiggins on his shoulder. Fisher to gather, he's wrapped up by Stenglein. Wiggins in over the top. Harassed by Doughty and Massey. Ball up.
And again, Jace, as you identified, it just happens with simple plays like that. Just being able to force a neutral ball, Carlton, some aggression at the footy.
DeLuca having a spell. Ricky Mott having a run in the ruck. Prendergast on this occasion goes up. Stenglein been influential the last minute or so. Bowyer went off the deck. Chance for Johnson. Wiggins comes crunching in.
Footy collision.
He's played a free kick.
No. And I think that's the problem we're having with umpires at the moment. They've been under scrutiny the last couple of weeks, but there are football collisions that they are paying free kicks for that they shouldn't do. Just a feel for the game the umpires appear to have lost at the moment.
Shirley to the wing. There is Ricky Mott. Goes up and takes the mark. Boots it high towards 50. Fisher for Favola. And he is within range again. No one at all in the goal square. They break for him. I think he might have got messages. Carlton players are telling him to turn around and kick it. He thought they were talking about Walker, when really I think they were talking about a wide open goal square. Stenglein to Burton. Could be another crucial moment in this game. Burton goes to Carey. Thornton with him. Carey beats one at ground level. Dishes off to Smart from 40 metres out. Goes for goal. Tries to bend it back. Touched on the line. I reckon, Chris, that's what happened. Brendan Favola, he's hit the ground. Carlton fans, kick it, quick, kick it, kick it, kick it. He spun around and thought they were talking about Andrew Walker. It was a wide open goal square.
Too much information. Too much. Just keep it simple,
It
boys.
confused him, didn't it?
Don't talk to me.
Houlihan goes long from the kick in. Morrell takes a juggler. And it was an important one too, because Adelaide were on at ground level if it hit the deck. Morrell to the wing. Favola pushing up. Working hard. Brendan Favola backward of centre wing. Goes to Will, the next link in the chain. Hands off to Stevens, another one of those crucial players. Inside 50, 20 metres out, Lappin went early. Ball at ground level. Crummers favour Adelaide. Matner puts on a goose step to get away from Camporelli, but does well. Relieves McLeod at half-back.
They charge across half-back. McLeod finds McGregor. Burton says, give it to me. Races away from Prendergast, looking for Carey. Paddling the ball long, kept the ball alive, squeezed up. Danger here for the Blues. Need clean hands. McGrath, hands and knees. Works hard, does well. Finds Morrell. From defensive 50, penetrating kick to Whitnell. The Blues on the charge. They're going to back themselves in. It was good play then. He wanted to draw the opponent. Now he goes short.
Oh.
And Scotland on the stretch has got it. Too far out to score.
Just needs patience. Same as Lappin, Matty. Lappin had patience, found Favola.
Well, Lappin couldn't lead because he was trying to put his boot on. Whitnell. Maybe a bit of magic from Lance. Wobbles to kick forward. Lappin! He's just put his boot back on.
It's off again.
That's what happened. He was in the goal square and he was putting his boot on. So they went short. So it was take two.
It's been an amazing couple of minutes in the Carlton forward line, isn't it? They're trying everything down there at the moment, KB.
Oh, that is beautiful.
This just wobbled. He's just put his boot on. Couldn't quite get it on. And it's come off again.
Malcolm Blight would love that. He'd be talking about the football gods. And that's the football gods smiling on you.
Well, the Blues to get within 13 points. Lappin got to kick a goal, must kick a goal, does kick a goal.
Well, it may have been comical, but gee, it was effective for Carlton. We talk about momentum swings, the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, repeat effort, 20-minute mark of the second quarter. The quality of Carlton's engine room, getting hold of the ball, luck's a fortune sometimes, but they'll take it. And all of a sudden, again, when they appeared to be dead, Lappin gives them life.
Margin back to 13 points as we approach three-quarter time. Again, you think back to Scott Camporelli's goal some 15 minutes ago. If he had kicked that, it was 10 points of difference. It's taken Carlton that time now to make up the two-goal swing. But they are back in this game as Prendergast comes off for Norman. Clark tried to get it to McLeod. You could see his thinking. Stevens picked it off. Wiggins in over the top of it. Shirley tracks it back for the Crows. Bangs it on the boot. Smothered by Scotland. He's fresh. Spent plenty of time on the bench. Flicks it out through the hands of Walker to Whitnell. Here come the Blues again through Johnson. Kick inside 50. Henschel tracks it back. Ripped off it by Norman, but he did well. He got it to Matner. And he can go straight up the middle to a 2-on-1. Rashudo at the back of the contest can use Burton if he can get the hands free. He can't. Ripping tackle from Fisher. Both players committing themselves there, Scotland and Edwards. The old Harlem Globetrotters behind the back.
That tackle by young Brad Fisher could be a match-winning tackle because Rashudo is so hard to bring down. It was a great tackle by that young boy.
Clark with the free kick for the throw. Spears it to 50. John Cock wants to put a few dance steps on, did well, got it to McLeod. Spears it inside 50 on the bounce. Was it? No, it carried to Schuback. And Jacob Schuback can go back from 40 metres out with just over a minute remaining in the third term to kick a vital goal.
A vital goal it was too, and the class of Graham Johncock, just his ability to hold his feet and turn 360 was so good. The two Carlton players hot on his heels, one goes to ground.
It was a good shimmy, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You've got to hold your feet. The value of holding your feet in the contest. Jacob Schuback, traditionally a pretty good kick, certainly for distance. This one a question of accuracy.
Pressure kick for the youngster, the 20-year-old from Sale in country Victoria. Makes good contact. That is a beautiful finish. And the Crows answer the challenge right on three-quarter time. Schuback gets his first. The margin back out to 19 points.
Yeah, stings a little, that one. A crunch goal for Crows. They needed to find an answer. Jacob Schuback, part of their young talent. There's Graham Johncock. It was Teague that went to ground. Johncock held his feet. Dish to McLeod. Use of the footy pretty good, and the finish even better.
Crows by 19 points, 9-12-66 plays, 7-5-47. That young man on screen has kicked his first goal. But all the scoring, most of the scoring I should say, has been left of screen, and that's where the Blues in the second quarter were able to come out and kick 4 goals. So if you're a Carlton supporter, don't give it away. Shirley from the centre square goes wide. Welsh leaping high in front of Morrell. Time clock ticking down, just 19 seconds left. This is a danger period for the Blues. It's a big kick, and it's a big mark. With just 9 seconds on the clock, Stevens has got it. Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. And this will be a big body blow to the Blues if he kicks this.
Speaking of body blows, a heavy collision there from Teague and Scotland. Just got a stinger in his shoulder, but he looks okay.
Stevens will kick from 45. No angle to speak of as the siren rings in his ears. So a big kick after the siren here for Mark Stevens. A casual approach, but a magnificent kick. What a way to close out the third term for the Crows. 2 goals in the final minute. And at three-quarter time, the Blues now have got a real challenge. 10-12-72. They trail by 25 points. 7-5-47.
And again, we see the body language. The Adelaide Crows trotting to the three-quarter time huddle at Carlton. Well, that pretty much says it all. Stephen Kernahan adopting the teapot pose. Not happy with those last couple of minutes. The Blues with it all to do in the final term, but anything could happen. This is an amazing game.
Tonight at the Dome, the Cats fight it out with the Doggies. Don't expect either side to take a backward step.
Wow! What a quarter by the Cats!
Western Bulldogs versus Geelong tonight on Fox Footy Channel.
Well, talking past and talking here, but it don't ever pass the way I feel. You went away a long time ago, and why you left I never knew. And now I'm still feeling blue. And now I'm still feeling blue.
Welcome back to York Park for Sunday football. And Scotty West and Aaron Hamill toss the coin. Aaron Hamill wins the toss and will kick to the right-hand side of screen. A slight breeze favouring his end of the ground. Let's go down to the ground level now and Anthony Mithen.
Sure is a slight breeze there, Derm. Ground in reasonable nick, given the amount of rain we've had over the last couple of days. Only expected to be about 10 degrees. That's why I'm looking like an Eskimo today. But the ground is in pretty good nick.
Not bad for a boy from Braybrook. It wasn't that easy. Matter of fact, it was pretty tough.
Hawkins with courage.
A lot of pain, sacrifice, and even heartbreak.
The most skillful player in the Bulldog side.
Would I do it all again? Of course I would. I just love footy.
Doug Hawkins, footy fan, part of the Fox Footy team.
Three-quarter time at Amy Stadium, and was it a career-defining 5 minutes for Gary Ayres late in that third term. The 23-minute mark. Adelaide led by just 13 points when Lappin goaled. And then 2 quick goals to the Adelaide Crows saw the margin out to 25 points at three-quarter time, and the Crows back in control. We head downstairs to the boundary line. Mark Aston with their assistant coach, Peter Curran.
Peter, why did the coaching staff take the players on the other side?
I don't know. Just Gary's call, something different, I suppose. But just to keep their focus sharp. I mean, we've probably butchered the ball a little bit in the last couple of quarters. So, but it's persistence paid off in that quarter, and we managed to get some sort of ascendancy.
Yeah, a couple of late goals, very handy, weren't they?
Yeah, in a low-scoring game like this, yeah, extremely handy.
And they won't go away, will they, the Blues?
Oh, well, you expect that from them. They're a pretty proud club, pretty proud side, so they were responding from last week.
Thanks, Pete.
Okay.
You could read Gary Ayres' lips there. He said, "This is what football's all about." And they've been up and firing at Amy Stadium this afternoon. Massive crowd in, made plenty of noise. It's been a wonderful atmosphere and a very entertaining contest, and it's far from over. 25 points the margin, but as we've seen, such momentum swings, so distinct in this game. If the Blues can get on top early in the last term, they are not done with. Final quarter at Amy Stadium. Huge one for these two sides. DeLuca and Clark. DeLuca the tap. Rashudo fumbled and was beset upon. Shirley did really well to McLeod, and now Burton inside 50. Good effort from Houlihan to work his way to the front. The double fist. Prendergast put body on, but it was a deft tap to Rashudo. He missed the body of McLeod. Spinning through was Houlihan. Now to Bowyer. Kick partly smothered. 1% is coming to the fore as Norman gives it to Camporelli. He's almost run down by Matner. Boot to ball inside off the hands of Favola. Whittle at the back. Handball. Run down Fisher. And it saves the day as Tawney comes away. To the wing. Carey's in front. Thornton goes the punch. And now Carey links up with Dowdy. Rashudo slipped away and half forward. has got some time to look up and link up with his good mate Andrew McLeod. He runs to 45, goes for home, tries to bend it back and misses. This game being played at a hectic pace and great desperate efforts from both sides.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Again, the Crows tackling really on song. That's a feature of their game when they're up and running. Just their ability to put pressure on the opposition and force them into turnover.
1 goal, 3 to Andrew McLeod. Of the 17 goals kicked, only 4 have been kicked right of screen. So the Blues coming home with the end, where the goals have been kicked, 13 out of that 17. Morrell trying to direct traffic. Prendergast is going to leap high from behind. You could see him coming. He's got some talent. He's just got to get consistency into his game. Can be a big improver. Draw, great grab. Lappin. Not much of him, but he can take a big mark. Sets it up for bowlers in front. What a kick! Super kick that time by Lappin. Didn't have to break stride for bowler. And this to inspire the Blues.
He's only had 11 possessions, Matthew Lappin, but geez, had an influence. 6 inside 50s with those.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful use of the footy as well. Found for bowler on a couple of occasions. Prendergast doing some good work in the air as well. Big kick this one in the course of game. Traditionally a beautiful kick for goal. This one gives them real hope.
They trail by 26 points. This to make it 20 for Vola. The best kick in the Carlton side. A lot of pressure on this young man's shoulders as he leans back.
Snuck it in.
Kicks a big goal. He's got 4. He hasn't let him down today. There's doing 2 big goals. Had to be kicked for Carlton. 1 in the third term. Started this last quarter. Favola's done it both times.
Yeah, and you put the mockers on him too. The best kick in the club. Traditionally, they'll let you down every time when you say that. But he's been beautiful today. Just a real bit of class. Not the opponent maybe Nigel Smart wanted on his return to the Adelaide Footy Club, but when you get service like that, not much you can do.
Matthew Lappin having an influence. Crowd roaring at Amy Stadium. The margin back to 20 points. And if you get the feeling that if the Blues can get the next one and really get some momentum, it is on for young and old.
No doubt. And again, the McLeod miss. How important was it? The Crows haven't been able to put Carlton away. They score on the rebound.
Clark, only as far as Stevens. Held when not in possession, will get a free kick. Nick Stevens, 18th possession coming up. DeLuca ran forward to that contest to provide an option. It was good play from the big man. He now plays on, fumbles it. Now he's put himself into all sorts of pressure, needs some support. Great effort from the Adelaide Crows.
He should have handballed it the first time. He had players streaming by, and for some reason he tried to take them on himself, and then he just got caught in 2 minds then.
About playing your capabilities in the KB. Don't do things that don't come naturally.
That first fumble costly. Clark got the tap out. Norman picked it off to Camporelli. Favola the target again, can run onto it. He's got it 55 out. Could just about go the journey. It would take a prodigious kick.
No one's kicked a goal from this that side of the ground from that angle in this game.
Would be. He's gone back a long way to get as much momentum as he can, Chris. He's gone back a good 35 metres.
He's off the DK Lilly long run. Once again, Scotty Camporelli, the great service they've given Brenton Favola.
Well, he's just about as good a set shot for goal from this range as anyone in the competition. Will take his best from here. But I tell you what, if he gets it, the Blues will have enormous confidence. Unloads from 55. The body language suggests he likes it. He's got it. What a kick. 14 points the margin. Brendan Favola with 5 goals. And the Blues are right back in it.
What we said before the game, Favola had to kick 7 or 8 if Carlton were a realistic chance to win this game of footy. Well, he's nearly there. And some great use, Scotty Camporelli, a quiet first quarter. But that is all class. Nigel Smart, you can't do any more than that. And when you kick him from 55, that is class.
Well, that man on screen has booted 5, and 2 big ones in this last quarter. Every player today kicking from that angle, from that far side of the ground, have missed to the right, but not for Favola. And all of a sudden the Blues have a sniff. They trail by just 14 points. It's a big ball that went out of the centre square. It's all tied up. 10-13, 73 the Crows. The Blues 9-5, 59. They trail by 29 points at quarter time, Carlton, 8 points at half time and 25 points at three-quarter time. They've brought it back to 14 points. There's some spirit in the Blues. The race is on. Camporelli. It's been great today. High ball inside, 50. Lappin, weighted down. Chance. Great play. Here's a chance for Bowler. Clean hands, clean feet. Kicks a goal. 6 big ones to Brendan for Bowler. Look at the Carlton fans. They're ecstatic because the Blues are within 8 points.
Got every reason to be two once again, Brendan Favola. Scotland with the hands and the vision. Favola into open space. Momentum with Carlton. It swings again. And a dirty day for Nigel Smart, but Gary Ayres with no other options at full-back. Not much alternative, perhaps Tyson Stenglein.
Well, what an amazing game of football this has been from the word go. We hope you're enjoying it wherever you might be watching right around Australia. The margin back to just 8 points. Favola has 6, 3 in the last quarter. It's not often that 25 points the margin at three-quarter time, but you think it's game on. It just had that feeling about it. Scotland dribbles it. Camporelli. Stevens there as well. Rashudo grabbed the football to Tawney. Now to Matner. McLeod has to step the runner. What a kick. Henschel. Now McGregor, and out wide to Burton. The Crows looking for a steadier. You get the feeling there's a couple more twists in the tail of this one yet. Norman goes to ground. Matner gets possession. Prendergast wraps him up. Norman pretty crude coming in. And they don't pay a free kick to that one, yet they did to Shirley in the third quarter. I think they should be reversed, those two.
No doubt about it. It's about fuel for the game. Marty Matner puts the body on the line, takes the head-high shot, neutral ball.
Ball up centre wing. Prendergast and Clark. Link arms. Prendergast over the top of it. It spills to Burton. Thumps it on the boot to 50. DeLuca gets a run at it. Ball hits the deck. McLeod in best position from 55 out. Looks for an option. Goes to the pocket and Carey. That was a wonderful kick. Carey stood tall. McLeod had very little space to work in. He waited it to get it over Carey's opponent. It was just perfect.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Touch of class. Andrew McLeod, a pretty good afternoon. 21 touches. Had some space, had some time. We've still got to execute. Ooh, perfect.
So good to get it over the head of Morrell and Thornton. He plays on. The King wheels around. He's made a career out of kicking the big goals, and he's done it again. Carey's kicked 2. The Crows get a steadier. The margin out to 14 points. We've played 9 minutes final term in front of almost 42,000 at Amy Stadium.
Yeah, class that is from McLeod, and then from Carey. Clutch goals. That's what you love about this bloke. Money's on, pressure contest. The time in the game, you need a bit of class.
Poor defence of the Blues to not have anyone in there to corral him in, though.
Nigel
Two
Smart
goals
off
to Carey.
Nigel Smart off the ground too, boys. The change has been made at fullback, and it's Nathan Bott with the roll on for goal for the last 10-15 minutes of this game. Big job for a kid.
11-13, 79 the Crows. The Blues at 10-5, 65. They trail by 14 points. Here's a chance for Shirley. Penetrating kick. Stevens lost his footing. Wiggins happy to run it through. Stenglein also warming up on the boundary. Come back on for the Crows. Houlihan to bring the ball back into play. Plenty of time for the Blues. They trail by just 15 points.
How much they got left in the tank, KB? They've been chasing all game, haven't they? Never got in front. Have they got enough to get in front?
Thought Prendergast was interfered with, going for the ball. There was no chance for Edwards. Slippery customer. Back to Clark. Fires off the handball to Shirley. Clean hands to Rashudo, who always kicks the ball on deep inside 50. Big fist away Morrell. Good hands taken that time by Wiggins to Thornton. Can he keep the ball alive? He does well. Norman's got it. Half back to the centre wing. Looking for Whitnell, using some bulk. Worked his way to the front. Good great play by Bowyer. Stood up in the tackle. Gave it across to Scotland. Kicks a high ball. Lappin works his way to the front. Fisted away that time by Massey. A chance for the Blues across the half-forward line. Simpson's a tackler. They bring Tawney to ground, and there's a ball up. It's a big play. It's 60 metres, 65 metres out from the Blues goal. Just for Vola inside 50. He's got Bock on him now. He's kicked 6 goals. 3 of those goals coming in this final term. Clark. Risciuto, the unstoppable. 25 possessions today. This time it's held up. Lappin works his way back to be near Favola. The Blues need a quick kick inside 50. Simpson did well. Chance for Bowyer. Pulled off the ball by Tawney. Trying to crash his way through is Johnson. Hurries the ball for Favola in the square. Thumped away. Taken by Harford. It's a Camporelli. Camporelli's kicked a goal. He's got 2. He pounced on at the front of the pack. So quick. And the Blues are still alive.
And great thinking too, KB. Front and square, knew the right spot to be in, and actually got some lift in this kick. Got it over the defensive player's head. Johnson with a great contested footy, though. That's what he does for Carlton. Wins that contested ball. As they say, front and square, Camporelli in the spot. Ooh, big goal.
To Scott Camporelli. Margin back to 9 points. We've played 12 and a half minutes. We're halfway through this final term. Clark and DeLuca. Clark again, a palm down. Edwards got on the end of it. Looks to link up with Risciuto. Prendergast forced a contest. Johnson missed the body with his handball. Prendergast goes forward to Camporelli. Here's a chance for the Blues again inside 50. Oh. Bounced off the chest of McGregor on the half volley. Henschel links up with Bock. Beautiful kick to Doughty. It was well weighted. Doughty uncertain of his options. Favola comes at him. Can't slip away. Massey under pressure. Carey in the end gets it to the line. The intensity lifting again. Carl Norman just getting under the skin of Wayne Carey a little bit. Brett Thornton keen to take advantage of it. Whitland in the front. Tried to clear a path, but Edwards stepped through it. Beautiful linking handball to Massey. Massey goes looking for McLeod. Houlihan with a well-timed fist. Prendergast. DeLuca to centre half forward. Favola to provide a contest. Ball hits the deck. Camporelli a burst run. Tries to break through. Did well. Bounced off. Bit a couple. Man alone inside 50. Lappin. 15 metres out. Great effort from Scott Camporelli. Turned on the Jets. Made that ball his own, and Matthew Lappin can go back from 15 metres out to reduce the margin to 3 points.
Oh, you got to love that, don't you? Contested footy, big part of the game, leadership required. Scotty Camporelli provided it. He's given them the spark when they've needed it today. So's this bloke. Oh, ball and body on the line, inspirational stuff.
Well, the Blues haven't been this close since the 2-minute mark of the opening term. Lappin bangs it through. 2 goals to Matthew Lappin. What an influence he's had. 12 possessions, 5 marks, 6 inside 50s, 2 goals. He's been the missing link in that forward line. He's been the mobile one-on-one option they can go to.
Absolutely. And this is one for the highlight tape. Bang contested footy against Dyson Stenglein, who doesn't lose too many in that situation. The kick forward. Matty Lappin, the big goal. They said this was a crunch game for the Adelaide Footy Club. Gary Ayres identified it at 3/4 time, takes the team to the other side of the ground. Game, season, careers on the line. Next 15 minutes.
There's Gary Ayres in the coach's box. His side is led by 5 goals on a couple of occasions, and the Blues keep chipping away. They trail by just 3 points. Camporelli has been an inspiration for the Blues today. Throw in Brendan Favola with his 6 goals, 3 in this last quarter, and Matthew Lappin. They've been the big 3.
They certainly have. Can they get in front? That is the question. Carlton need to get in front. Reward for effort. They've spent a lot of energy. Have they got any left?
Well, Whitnell got his hands on the ball. Scotland, a fierce tackle on Doughty. They can sense victory, the Blues. They've got a sniff.
Tackling well too. They couldn't lay a tackle in the first quarter. since then, very good.
Dennis Pagan working the phone. Calm under pressure. Adrian Gallagher there. Tony Elshaw, his lieutenants. Chance for Risciuto. Taken by Bowyer with strength. Gets it to Camporelli. Prendergast to put the Blues in front. He has missed. It's a behind. Crows by 2 points. Henschel. To bring the ball back into play. The young man has to make a right decision. Carlton players have manned up. He kicks long. Clark trying to do the crumbing. Risciuto. Here's the kick in.
Right.
Speared it into Carey and thumped away by Thornton, who's becoming a very good backman. 80 plays 78 as Burton gets a run.
Under 10 minutes remaining. Clark got rid of DeLuca. Handball missed a target. Camporelli to mop it up. Went looking for Stevens. Dowdy laced some body. And the ball goes out.
Just need Nick Stevens to find some footy for a Carlton supporter. Just a little quiet in this last quarter. Scotty Camporelli needs some help on ball if Carlton are going to get over the line.
Prendergast had a fresh air swing. Clark at the back, his man took it. Tawney ducked ahead, slipped away from Simpson, got it to Shirley. Here comes Henschel from 60 metres out. Inside 50, Carey tracking back.
Push out.
McGrath nudged out.
Free kick. It'll go to McGrath. Shoved in the back.
Will that be 50? Carey's kicked an amazing goal, which won't count. It was a fantastic goal. Crowd erupted. It's coming back to Corey McGrath. The horrible reality just setting in now.
It was a clear free kick.
And you've got to wonder why it's not 50. I mean, he continued to play on. 50 in one part of the ground, not in the other.
Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't hear the call with the crowd roaring. Whitmore palmed it down towards Johnson. The ball trickles over for a throw-in. 2 points the margin, 9 minutes remaining. Adelaide led by as much as 29 points. Late in the opening term, that was the margin at quarter time. They absolutely smashed Carlton in the first 20 minutes of this game, but kicked inaccurately and left it ajar for the Blues. They've led all day, Adelaide. Inside 50 they go again. Some marking power down there for Carlton on this occasion, and Morrell takes the relieving mark. There's a couple of options straight up the middle, and there's Fisher out wide. He elects to go to Fisher. He has a defensive 35. He wants to go over the top to Houlihan.
Good leg. Oh,
up to ground. We get a free kick. Tawney nudged him. Didn't have his eyes on the football.
It was a good kick by Fisher. It was well weighted.
And Houlihan from half back goes short to Johnson. Has to take it on the half volley. Slips away from his man Stevens, but ran into Smart, who'd just come off the interchange bench. He'd just come off the bench and had an immediate impact. Goes towards Stevens. He's got the sit on McGrath. McGrath did very, very well. Umpires paid the free kick. Didn't seem to be as much in that one as there was in the Tawney one a moment ago. Straight off the bench, Nigel Smart. Johnson blindsided.
How is that holding the ball, though? I mean, they just dispossesses. There's not a tackle. It's just the ball's free. How is that a free kick?
Didn't stick the tackle at all, did he?
Remarkable decision.
Stevens will go inside 50. Morrell. Down the lines of McGrath. It was very, very clever. It was a percentage kick, because whether it went to McGrath or not, the only other thing it was going to do is get out of bounds. Favola's got 2 to beat, and the numbers went out. McGregor.
What a clever kick that was of Digby Morrell. McGregor, their leading mark taker this year, has got it. At half-back, he'll go short. Closing quickly was Morrell. Welsh has got it. 11-14-80 the Crows, the Blues 12-6-78. Within 2 points. Plenty of time, you can see on the time clock, just over 7 minutes left in this final quarter. Welsh on screen. He's kicked 2 goals today. His first was his 150th in AFL football. From behind was Smart. Johncock tried to barge his way through. Edwards, a clever player, sets it up. Carey, playing in front, has outmarked Thornton.
Just went to ground, Thornton. Tyson Edwards with a great kick to the hot spot.
It was the initial nudge from Carey, wasn't it, before the ball got to the zone?
Yeah. And when the Crows have needed it, the King has found it. He's been the answer. Kicked the crunch goal at the start of this quarter. Now with a chance just to give the Crows that little bit of space.
26 goals for the season. This to put the Crows 8 points up. Should kick a goal.
50. McGrath encroached.
Will now.
Well, now it's a gimme.
Came in too close from the side.
So Wayne Carey will kick his third goal. But there's still time for the Blues. We'll just trot in and pop it through. As the roar goes around Amy Stadium, but there's still some work to be done.
Yeah, not a matter of time for Carlton, a matter of energy, I think. They've done so much work to drag themselves back into this contest. But the class of Adelaide shining when they need it most. Tyson Edwards just knew where to go. Wayne Carey in front. There you can see the umpire just in the top of the screen telling the Carlton player he's getting too close, he's getting too close. Fell on deaf ears. Wins the 50, kicks the goal. Have Carlton got anything left in the tank?
It's a valid point you made, Chris. So often you see sides come from a long way back. If they don't get in front, it's very deflating. And at the moment, the Blues would look up and see, well, they're a goal and a half down, so they're still going to need to kick a couple more to get there. Adelaide have just had poise to steady when it's mattered on a couple of occasions this afternoon.
No joys, incredible losses.
Norman. Here's Clark. Will that give Adelaide some momentum now to Johncock? High ball inside 50. Morell in best position. Won't quite get there. It's an awkward bounce. It's a free kick. It's coming all the way back to Scott Camporelli in the middle. So the Blues can build from the centre of the ground. They need a quick response. You get the feeling if Adelaide get the next one, that might just about see the Blues off for the afternoon. But if Carlton can get the next one, they wrestle the momentum immediately back. Short to Prendergast. He's provided an option this afternoon, Prendergast. He's provided a contest.
Composure for Carlton's what's required.
High ball for Vola in the middle of a pack. Fisher over the top almost at ground level. They'll wrap this one up 35 metres out from the Carlton goal. 41,617, and they have made plenty of noise from the opening bell this afternoon. It's been a great atmosphere and a very, very entertaining game of football. Clark again, uncontested. The Blues have been happy to sit off him and let him do that this afternoon and win it at ground level. Johncock out on the full. Another chance for Carlton. Prendergast has it. Will go inside 50. Favola on a semi-lead. Got hands to it at ground level. Favola's kick 6. It's a high ball. A one-on-one to the goal square. Fisher went to ground. Tawney kept his feet. And can now wrap it up to Bock. Bock pushes it out wide. Stevens lunges. Ball finds the line. Good composure and experience from Jason Tawney to keep his feet.
This is a big play for the Blues. It's a boundary throw-in right on 50. From boundary throw-ins, the clearances have been Adelaide 10 to Carlton's 2. It's a big play. Thumb forward. Close to the boundary line. Toss back in.
There's some fatigue on both sides, Chris.
Well, it's been a physical game, hasn't it? I mean, apart from the early 10 or 15 minutes, when Carlton answered the challenge, she's been game on in a tough, hard, uncompromising game of footy.
Chance for Norman. Sidesteps. Quick snap. Quick snap. One behind. 7-point ball game. The Blues are not done with yet. Henschel goes short, very short from the kick in. Wasn't quite 15. McLeod backs himself. Charges away. Kicks the ball to open space. Whitnell trying to make ground. Crashes into Stevens. It's a boundary throw-in. It's on centre wing. 86 plays 79. Cade Simpson coming on for the Blues. Fisher takes a breather. Smart's got it to John Cock. Did well, wrapped up in the tackle by McGrath. Spills over the line. So there's the change for the Blues. Time clock ticking away, just over 4 minutes. Still on centre wing. Clark gets his hands on the ball. McGrath goes to ground. Clark, great handball. Finds McLeod, the champ, can set it up. Looking for the king, Carey. Tried to flick it on, does well. Risciuto keeps the ball alive, taken by Thornton. Clean hands needed for the Blues. Camporelli dances on a dollar. He's been a star for the Blues today. He's inspired the Blues since the first quarter. Henschel hits the ball running. Finds McLeod, high ball, big grab. Stenglein misses.
Been a star, Scotty Camporelli today. Will that shot for goal ruin what could have been a fantastic afternoon? Will it come back to haunt Carlton? Camporelli 10 touches in the pivotal last quarter, 29 for the game. Not a bad afternoon's work.
He's led from the front this afternoon. The Blues with 3.5 minutes remaining. They need a goal very shortly to just set it up for a dynamic finish. They decide to go straight up the middle. Scotland's kick.
Take.
Simpson's just on the ground. Norman couldn't gather cleanly. Henschel did. That was the difference. Johnson, a good tackle. Forces a turnover. Stevens can flip it over the top to Scotland. He's got Lappin at 45 degrees. Decides to go deep to the square. Lappin, the bouncing ball, can gather. Open goal! 2 points the margin.
They won't go away, Chris.
We mentioned the importance, Chris, of a quick goal because as long as you're within that 6-point buffer, the time clock doesn't work against you to the same extent, does it? You haven't got the pressure of having to score twice. Carlton have now got 3 minutes to hang in and manufacture one.
And great footage there. You could see Scotland's eyes just catch Lappin out of the corner of his eye. Had a time to change his decision. Beautiful foot skills. Lappin's given him a spark up in the forward line. Scotland won on the ball. Kicks his third. 2-point ball game. Who would have thought?
And the noise is deafening here at Amy Stadium. It's a sellout crowd, and the Blues keep on coming. Stevens, what a big ball, what a big centre bounce. Taken away by Stevens for the Crows, inside 50. Carey's got to run hard, he's got Thornton to beat. Teague makes ground. McGrath says, give it to me. Thornton goes wide, finds Morrell, now can open up for the Blues. Wiggins to centre half forward.
Panicked.
It's a big play. Loose ball. Cade Simpson to Scotland. Short to Vavola. He's got it!
Oh, what a mark.
Vavola's got it!
Umpire saying he didn't take it over the line. Throw it in.
Oh, I reckon he marked it.
That's a big call. The boundary umpire was 70 metres away.
Right on the line here. And I tell you what, Vavola has marked that ball.
Umpire saying he actually juggled it over the line, which is impossible because it's either out of bounds on the full or a mark because it was a one-grab mark.
The decision must rest with the field umpire.
This is controversial. Let's have a look.
He can't have juggled it. It was a one-grabber. He's either marked it or he hasn't.
Yep.
Well, for mine, Vavola marked this just inside the line because I'm on the absolute perfect angle from this broadcasting box.
And he's overruled him.
And he's got it, and it's a good decision.
A classic piece of play too. Brenton Favola actually pointing to the scoreboard. The video replay told the umpire, let's go to the third man, the third umpire.
Well, it was a good decision by umpire Kieran Nichols because he did mark that ball right on the line. What a kick for Brenton Favola. What a kick for Carlton. He's booted 6 big ones today, 3 in this last quarter. Just 2.5 minutes left. Brendan Favola from an almost impossible angle. Could he kick it, Chris?
To put some pressure on him, KB. Wrap him up. The best kick in the club.
If anyone can kick it, this man can. Favola stands his ground, starts to bend it back. Carlton are in front. Favola's kicked 7. What a kick. What a goal.
And Carlton, we get the wide shot, are running back in numbers. There's about 15 Carlton players all streaming to the back line.
What controversy too with that umpire, Kieran McNichol. But he made the right decision. Kieran Nichols because this kick was taken by Favola clearly inside the line, and he finished off with, I reckon, the best goal he's ever kicked.
The Blues have pushed numbers back, as you can see. They've got 10 men backward of the centre square. As we start play back in the middle, Edwards, it's not over yet. What a game this has been. Smart will go long. Another chance for Adelaide. It's a 2-on-1. Whitnell gets there and forces a contest. Prendergast at ground level. The Blues had the presence of mind to push some numbers back. Teague, boot to ball, gets it to the line, throw in, and that was good coaching from the players amongst themselves, Chris. They got numbers straight back there.
Dennis Pagan.
You're right, it takes leadership. Somebody makes the call, the numbers go back. Great work from Carlton, missing in the first, found it and they're there.
Prendergast couldn't take it. Burton went to ground. It was important. Houlihan comes away. Dribbles a kick. McGregor, 90 seconds remaining. Now McLeod, the architect, can go inboard to Tawney. There's not one player behind Jason Tawney on the whole ground. Simpson's done well to hold him up. Here's McLeod through the middle again. Time for one more. Inside 50, Rashudo with a couple to beat. At ground level again, the Blues with numbers. Whitnell will have very little to kick to. So he just hoiks it high. Simpson's got to go. Tawney did it well.
He should have kicked to the boundary line though, Chris. It came off the side of his boot.
McLeod again. Trying to get this side over the line. Inside 50, they need a mark. At ground level, players everywhere. Carey tries to swing through. Bowyer wraps him up. DeLuca in there. Spills out to Henschel. Over the top of it went Rashudo. Norman wrapped up in the pocket. They pile in. Holding the ball. Holding the ball against Carl Norman. And it will be a Graham Johncock shot for goal with 48 seconds left on the clock. Tough kick, but not as tough as Brendan Favola's. Graham Johncock, as we know, a very skillful finisher.
Well, they say here at Amy Stadium, the toughest pocket to kick any goal, kick a goal from. Graham Johncock is a good kick for goal. Pressure on, three-quarter time, we said. Career-defining, season-defining moments.
And Norman.
The free kick is there. They pay him. Courageous decision.
He was unlucky because the ball went between Johncock's legs. He couldn't get his arm around, couldn't have got it out if he had wanted to. But as KB mentioned, the thing that worked against him is from where the umpire stood. He dragged it in. Johncock to win the game for the Crows. It started shallow and finished out of bounds on the full. 22 seconds remaining. Dennis Pagan, heart in his mouth stuff.
There's not one player from the 50-metre line of the Crows all the way back to Carlton's goal line.
Well, he's certainly got to hug the boundary, KB. Got to get it outside 50.
Not one Carlton player 140 metres from goal.
He does that, goes long outside 50. DeLuca, Scotland. There's no one to run onto this ball. It will bounce towards the line. It stays in long enough for the Blues and eats up a couple of valuable seconds. 10 seconds remaining. The ball is forward of the centre wing. There's nothing you can do now, Dennis. There's 10 seconds left on the clock.
You can see the look in the eye says everything, though, from a coach and a selection panel. Can we win this game?
Clark to McLeod. Is there time for one more? Standing tall, Wiggins. Gets it inside 50. The Blues trail by 29 points at quarter time. They got beaten by 108 points last week by St Kilda. They were humiliated. They were down and out. They were the laughing stock of the competition. And they have fought back this afternoon on a couple of occasions. Brendan Favola with 4 goals in the final term as Carlton come from behind. They haven't led all day, hit the front with just minutes remaining. And Carlton, 14-7-91, have defeated the Adelaide Crows 12-15-87 in one of the best games you will see all year.
No doubt about that. The picture tells the story. The first 15 minutes of the game couldn't have been worse. That is courage. That is a team getting dragged by the scruff of the neck by Scott Camporelli. Leadership, all the things you want.
29 possessions to Scott Camporelli, and he was the instigator, wasn't he, with Nick Stevens in that second quarter
and
get him back into the game, and then Favola's Favola's last quarter, when he kicked 4 goals, was absolutely superb, inspired by Camporelli and Matthew Lappin. He has kicked some of the best goals you've seen today, Brendan Favola. 7 goals won to Favola today.
They trailed by 29 points at quarter time, 8 points at half time. They were in the game, but conceded 2 late goals in the third term to blow it back out to 25 points. Gary Ayres looks like he's almost in tears. He is shattered. The Blues finished with 7 goals 2 to 2 goals 3. Brendan Favola goaling from the boundary line. Controversial umpiring decision at the 30.5-minute mark to give Carlton the lead for the first time this afternoon. Brendan Favola, the hero, with 7 goals.
Brendan, congratulations. What does that win mean for the club?
It's pretty important because we're both 3 and 7, and next week we've got Hawthorn, then we're going to the break. It was just good to get a win, especially after last week, which was a bit embarrassing, and getting beat by the Saints. But we sat down on Wednesday, I think Tuesday night, and we all sat down the team in the coach's room. We all put down goals, and we aimed to win the next 3 games, and we've got 1 under the belt, and just good to get a win, mate.
And was your goal to kick 7 goals? Because it was a terrific performance by you after coming under a fair amount of criticism over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, we'll see what they write tomorrow, eh?
Well done, mate.
Brendan Favola,
I tell you what,
7.
One of the stars of today was Kieran Nichols, the umpire, in making certain that Favola's mark was paid, because I think the boundary umpire suggested it was over the line.
Yep.
And we've got a fantastic angle of it from our broadcasting box here at Amy Stadium. And it was a very brave decision by umpire Nichols.
KB, the boundary umpire was running and tapping his hand as though it was touched.
Couldn't be, could it?
No.
Either way, it was out on the fuller remark.
And umpire Kieran Nichols has pulled off 3 votes today.
No doubt about that. They're going to talk about that one into the week for sure. They'll be talking about Brendan Favola as well. The best kick in the club, the pressure of Kevin Bartlett resting on his shoulders.
He is the man with the Midas touch, the architect of a sporting dynasty.
But the Lions have gone back.
But the legends live on. You know, they don't breed footballers like they used to.